D24. From the files of the Victoria Police Department, for the first time, come these true stories of unceasing war against crime, of day and night vigilance that protects our life and our property, and of the nerve center that is the Police Information Bureau, D24.
D24, D24, calling cars 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8. Cars 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8. Be on the lookout for arson suspect Edward Atkinson, age 24, 5 feet 8 inches tall, brown hair, brown eyes. Last seen wearing a dark gray suit. This man is not to be questioned. Over.
Now another authentic case from the files of the Victoria Police, presented exactly the way it happened, although names, place names, and dates have been altered. This case, one of the most puzzling on record, is the story of a man not only returning to the scene of his crime, but actually repeating it in every detail. A night early in January 1942. As the hour approaches midnight, a faint glow is seen through the windows of a large engineering firm in South Melbourne. The glow becomes brighter. Suddenly, tongues of flame lick hungrily skyward. In a matter of seconds, one section of the huge factory is enveloped.
All right, get those hoses connected.
Coming over, Tom.
Swing the ladder over this way. We've got to stop it from spreading. Number 1 hose is right, Mac. Open her up.
The fire is gradually brought under control, and the fire brigade reports it to the South Melbourne Police Station, and Senior Detective Gibson hurries to investigate. At the Blackened Engineering Works, he confers with the district fire officer.
Must have been a beauty. She give you much trouble?
A bit.
This section's completely gutted. Fair amount of damage.
The manager estimates about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds.
Any idea where the fire started or how?
Well, I'm tipping these tins had something to do with it.
Yeah. Few of them about. Did the manager say what they're used for?
Oh, here he comes now. You can ask him. Mr. Greenwood, this is Detective Gibson from the police. Mr. Greenwood.
Yeah, very glad to see you, sir.
Hi, Mr. Greenwood.
Shocking piece of work, this.
You think the fire was deliberately set, Mr. Greenwood?
Well, it's not for me to say, is it?
What about these tins? There's a good number of them about. Could they have contained anything inflammable?
Well, if they're what I think they are, they most certainly did contain inflammable material, Mr. Gibson. Dash things have no business being in this department. Duco spraying's on the other side of the building.
Duco, eh? I suppose that's as good as anything to start a fire with.
Better than most, I'd say.
But why would anyone want to burn the plant down?
Oh, out of sheer meanness, revenge, or what's most likely, to cover up. I look at it this way, Mr. Greenwood. If someone merely wanted to set the factory on fire, they'd have started the fire on the other side, where the paint spraying's done. Why go to the bother of carting tins of paint over here unless this particular part is the part they want to burn?
But why should someone want to set fire to this section?
I suggest that something might be missing here. Some machinery, perhaps.
Machinery? That's all here. Look at it. Shocking.
Certainly a mess, all right.
Anything else that might be missing?
Tools, possibly. I have the plant inventory. I was about to check it against... Well, that's odd.
What is?
There aren't any tools about. Machine tools. There aren't any anywhere.
Yes, a further check disclosed that a large quantity of machine tools, valued at nearly £1,000, was missing. Detective Gibson immediately telephoned D24. Photographers and fingerprint experts were sent out, together with 3 more detectives, to assist in the investigation. Their first problem was to determine how the thieves got into the premises.
You checked the doors, did you, Wiley?
Yes, sir, and all the windows that weren't burnt. No sign that any of them have been tampered with.
Then these skylights must be the answer. They been over these skylights?
Just this minute finished the last one. There's not the sign of a clue anywhere.
But whoever did it must have got in through one of these. They open easily enough.
Yeah.
Will you get them to go over the insides carefully?
Oh, they're one ahead of you, Mr. Gibson. They've been over the insides. They're clean, too. You can have the boys try again if you'd like.
Don't bother. If there were anything there, I should think they'd have found it the first time.
What's your theory, Mr. Gibson?
Well, it looks to me as if it might be an inside job. One of the company's workmen might have hidden somewhere on the premises. Then later on, after everyone had gone, he opens the skylight and lets his confederates in. No traces on the skylights kills that theory, though.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, sir. There's nothing to show that thieves broke in. Unless they had a key to one of the locks, it had to be an inside job.
If whoever started the fire stole the tools, it needn't have been the same person at all. It might be that after the fire, some sneak thief saw his chance and took it.
Well, then, who started the fire?
An employee? Someone with a grudge against the company, perhaps? Let's have another talk with Mr. Greenwood. The position's this, Mr. Greenwood. One of your employees might have remained behind after closing time last night. Perhaps he hid himself. And then, when he thought it was safe, he set the place ablaze and escaped.
With the tools?
Not necessarily. Mr. Greenwood, have you had at any time some employee who was not happy with his job? Sorehead, short-tempered, perhaps?
No. As far as I know, all our employees are reasonably well satisfied. I can't recall a case of actual dissatisfaction in the past, either.
Could it possibly have come to some other man's attention and not have been passed on to you?
Our shop foreman, perhaps. But he's fairly new. Been with us only a few weeks.
Huh? What happened to the last one?
Oh, he left our employ.
Why?
Oh, usual reason. Some other company offered him more money.
Mr. Greenwood, I'm convinced this was an inside job. I'm afraid we'll have to question your employees.
All of them?
All of them. Tell me, Joe, you like working here?
Oh, it's a job.
Any complaints? There's something about the company you don't like?
Who complains?
Where were you about 11:30, 11:45 on Monday night?
Well, if I'd had any good sense, I'd have been in bed. I lost 30 shillings with the boys at poker.
How long have you been with the company?
5 years next June. And I didn't go starting any fires. I know what side my bread's buttered on.
You're new, aren't you?
Yeah,
How'd you happen to take a job here?
they advertised.
And you're satisfied with wages, conditions, and so forth?
If I wasn't, I'd quit.
Could you tell us where you were shortly before midnight on Monday?
Probably walking the baby. It's a boy. Haven't had a decent night's sleep for weeks.
And so the questioning went on. The police interviewed every employee of the factory, checked on those who'd left the company as far back as 18 months before. The number of persons questioned ran into hundreds. Alibis were double-checked and found to be in order. The police learned nothing which would tend to incriminate any member or former member of the staff in any way. So they decided to tackle the case from a different angle.
Well, boys, despite the fact that we've drawn a blank, I still feel it was an inside job.
Yeah, I think you're right, sir.
One of the men we interviewed knows more than he's told us. However, we'll have to try it from the outside.
Try to find someone who saw the thieves?
If possible. But meanwhile, there are the stolen goods themselves. Now, £1,000 worth of machine tools don't just vanish into thin air. Here are details of the missing tools. Serial numbers in some cases.
Oh, thanks, sir.
We'll cover all possible avenues of disposal. Begin with the ones we suspect as being possible receivers of stolen goods and work up to the more reputable.
That's a big job, Mr. Gibson.
Don't I know it? But it looks like our only chance. Here you are. Here are your lists. Now hop to it, boys.
G'day, Charlie. Remember me?
You're from the police. Something wrong?
I don't think so. Mind if I look round?
No, why should I?
Charlie, I'm looking for some machine tools. Have you any in stock?
Some fine carpentering tools. Well, they do. A nice plane, any number of saws, a few levels.
Cut it, Charlie. I'm after machine tools.
Afraid I haven't a machine tool in the place.
The police visited hundreds of places in the course of their inquiries, but always received the same reply. The department's property tracing section circulated a description of the missing tools throughout the state and in other states as well, but no clues were forthcoming. To all intents and purposes, £1,000 worth of machine tools had vanished. And then one night a few weeks later, at approximately 11:30, a window at the engineering works is raised cautiously.
South Melbourne Fire Station.
Hello. You better get out here straight away. The big engineering works. It's on fire.
Yes, the engineering works was once more ablaze. It had been set on fire exactly as before with tins of Duco. And again, more machine tools were missing. For the second time, the engineering works in South Melbourne had been set on fire. Early the next morning, the police began another exhaustive investigation.
Well, Mr. Greenwood, what's the verdict?
Well, not quite as many tools missing as last time. Just under £800 worth.
£800 worth of machine tools. 1,000 the time before.
Same story on the windows and doors, Mr. Gibson. Nothing.
What about in this burn section?
Well, it's hard to tell. We've covered the place, including the skylights.
I can read the answer in your face.
Not a sign of anything.
Confound it, these fires are happening, the tools are missing. Someone's getting away with it. They've got to be caught and punished.
That's right, Mr. Greenwood, but until we get some sort of a lead... How bulky would the missing tools be this time? Could one man carry them off?
Oh, if he made 2 trips, perhaps. I should say they could be packed into 2 small crates.
Could they be hidden elsewhere on the premises?
Oh, it isn't very likely.
Well, suppose we make a search.
But painstaking search revealed no missing tools. Once more, the detectives began the slow process of questioning employees, past and present, checking their movements on the night of the fire. The property tracing section of the department gave the fullest possible cooperation, but the stolen machine tools could not be located.
Well, Mr. Gibson?
I'm sorry, Mr. Greenwood. We've drawn a blank. A complete blank. That anyone could pull a job like this and get away with it once is unusual, but to do it twice in exactly the same way, well, it's a miracle.
Well, my company doesn't like this sort of miracle.
We're not dropping the case by any means, Mr. Greenwood. The search for the missing tools will go on until we find them. But otherwise, the best we can do for you is to see that it doesn't occur again. A patrol car will check these premises at intervals day and night until further notice.
Consistent with its other duties, a divisional patrol car maintains a 24-hour watch over the buildings. The times of inspection are varied each day. A month passes, 2 months, and then one night shortly after midnight, the phantom firebug strikes for a third time. But this time, it's the cruising patrol car which turns in the alarm. The fire is brought under control much more quickly.
Won't be as much damage this time.
I hope that means there'll be something more in the way of clues.
Well, the boys are ready to go over the place for clues as soon as she cools down.
That shouldn't be long. They're giving it a good soaking.
Aye. You come here.
Sorry, you'll have to stay back out of the way, fella.
You from the police?
That's right. Now move back. That's a good chap.
I'll move back all in good time. You're all in good time. I got some information. Yeah, that's it. I got some information for the place.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. You're the police. You want this information?
What information's that?
This battle's fire.
Well, what about it?
Well, now, just calm down. Be calm like me. Always calm.
Look, if you've got anything to tell me.
Oh, I want to tell you about the man.
Man? What man?
The one on the motorbike. If you'll just listen and don't talk so much.
All right, I'm listening.
It was a man on a motorbike. He was sitting right down that little street, watching. Yeah, that's what he was doing, watching.
Watching what?
Watching that. Only there was nothing to watch.
You mean there was a man on a motorbike parked in that side street before the fire started?
Well, didn't I just say that?
And what were you doing?
I was watching him to see what he was watching. Then all of a sudden, those jokers in the brass helmets came clanging, and he ups and starts his motorbike, and away he goes. Only it wasn't a regular motorbike.
What do you mean, not a regular motorbike?
It had one of those sidecars on it.
Sidecar? Was there anyone in the sidecar?
No.
If you'll give me your name,
No. I was just watching. I'm just coming home from the party and watching. That's all. Now I've done my duty, I'm going home.
The slightly tipsy gentleman would offer no further information. There was a man on a motorcycle watching the factory. When the fire brigade came, he left. To Detective Gibson, that just didn't make sense.
Oh, confound it. The man's not going to steal 800 quid's worth of tools and then sit in the street on a motorbike waiting for the factory to go up in smoke.
unless he were using a fuse or something of that nature to start the fire.
Well, there's no fuses or timing devices about. Only these darn Duco tins again.
Maybe the Duco itself was the fuse. See, he leaves a trail of paint. Up she goes.
Where does the trail go, Wiley?
Oh, to one of these windows. He lights the paint, closes the window behind him, and off he hops on his motorbike.
That leaves just three things to explain. Why we didn't find a Duco tin near a window or on the ground outside. Why all the windows were still locked. And how he got in the first place.
Well, he could throw the tin back in the middle of the floor with the others. The other times the windows were all burnt.
Hey, Mr. Gibson,
Hello?
up above you. See this skylight?
Yeah?
This looks like the lead we've been looking for.
How good is it?
Very good. And it's on the outside.
Well, there's your third answer, Mr. Gibson. He or they got in through the skylight.
Detective Wiley's reconstruction of the crime was given further credence when a searching examination of the charred window frames revealed that one window in the fired area was unlocked.
Good morning, Mr. Greenwood.
Morning.
Well, we've got something to go on this time. A fingerprint, an unlocked window, and a witness who may have seen the man responsible.
Oh, thank heaven for that. If this keeps up, we'll be ruined. I mean, we're insured, but this is crippling our production.
Yes, of course. Now, have you checked the missing tools, Mr. Greenwood?
Nearly £1,000 worth gone again.
Right, we'll get property tracing onto it. But meanwhile, we'll want to question the staff.
Again?
I'm afraid so. I want to find out how many, if any, own motorbikes. Especially those who own motorbikes with a sidecar. You own a motorbike?
No.
Do you know any of the others who do?
Eddie Atkinson. Only Eddie isn't here this morning.
Was it?
Oh, Atkinson phoned the shop foreman early this morning. He isn't feeling well. Said he was going to spend the day in bed.
Any of the other employees absent from work today?
Not so far as I know.
Tell me, has Eddie Atkinson's motorbike a sidecar?
Now, let me think. Yeah, one day at lunchtime he had a sidecar hooked up.
Thanks. If you'll give us Atkinson's address, Mr. Greenwood, I think we'll pay the sick man a visit.
Yes?
Oh, good morning. We're looking for Eddie Atkinson. Does he live here?
Why, yes.
Could we see him, please?
I'm sorry. He isn't in just now. I'm his mother. Could I help you?
Mrs. Atkinson, we're from the police.
Police? Is anything wrong?
Oh, just routine. There was a fire last night at the plant where your son works. We're having a word with all the employees, trying to get a line on what happened.
Oh, I'm so sorry Eddie can't help you. He had the day off today and he's gone to the pictures.
He had the day off.
Yes. Some holiday for working back at night or something of the sort.
Oh, I see. Mrs. Atkinson, have you any idea which theatre he might have gone to?
No, I haven't. I suppose it'd be to one of the city shows.
Oh, yes, of course. They'd be the only ones open this morning. It's rather important that we get in touch with your son. I wonder if you have a photo of him about the house.
Well, yes, I have,
If you
but...
don't mind, Mrs. Atkinson, it'll help us to locate him more quickly.
D24 calling cars 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8. Cars 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8. Be on the lookout for arson suspect Edward Atkinson, age 24, 5 feet 8 inches tall, brown hair, brown eyes. Last seen wearing a dark gray suit. This man is not to be questioned. He's thought to be attending a city picture theater. Over.
And so the search is on. Patrol cars are alerted and detectives canvass the city theaters.
Well, Mr. E. Atkinson, please call at the manager's office. I wonder, is that going to bring him out?
I think so. So far as he's aware, his mother is the only one who knows he's at the picture show. Curiosity should bring him out, if nothing else.
That's if he actually went to the pictures. No one showed up at the other theater.
Well, if we don't get any response this time... Hey, Wiley. Somebody's coming.
Yes. That's Atkinson.
Mr. Atkinson?
That's right.
Police here. We want to talk to you.
All right. So I lied to them. I wanted the day off. Is there any law against that?
No, none whatsoever, but there are laws against theft and arson.
If you mean the fires, I've got nothing to do with them. What kind of a country is this? Where you can get a bloke out of a picture theater, ask him a lot of questions for no reason at all.
Eddie, you own a motorbike and sidecar.
So what?
A man answering to your general description was seen leaving the works last night after the fire started.
I still say, so what?
It's his, all right, Mr. Gibson. That fingerprint on the skylight checks with his.
What about that, Eddie? Your fingerprint was on the skylight.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, I know when that happened. Yesterday, I climbed up to adjust the belt on my machine. I must have touched the skylight.
Could be. But this print was found on the outside of the skylight.
Looks like you're caught out, Eddie.
Nothing for it, Eddie. What do you say now?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose I'd better come clean. All right, I did it. All 3 fires. I did it all by myself.
Yes, Edward Atkinson had set all 3 fires. His method was simple. He entered through the skylight, gathered the machine tools in sugar bags, and opening a window, carried them to his waiting motorbike. After saturating that section of the plant with paint, he left a trail of paint to the open window, lit it, closed the window, and made his escape. It was later disclosed that Atkinson set the fires to get even with the company because he had a grudge against the new shop foreman. Information from Atkinson led to the recovery of all 3 lots of machine tools and the arrest and conviction of 2 men for receiving stolen property. Atkinson himself was sentenced on 3 counts of theft and arson. But for the persistent efforts of the police, this unusual case might never have been solved. If the wireless patrol had not been on the alert, the fire might have made too much headway, and the clue of the unlocked window possibly lost. After the discouragement of previous failures, the fingerprint men could have been just a fraction less painstaking and missed that 1 fingerprint, but they found it. The importance of the information concerning the parked motorcycle, however, is well worthy of a mention. That was the clue which enabled the police positively to get onto the right trail. As with this case, so with hundreds of others. You, the people of Victoria, are the link between the police and the criminal. By helping your police department wherever and whenever possible, you're helping them to serve you. The case you've just heard is true and was written for radio by Warren Glasser from facts supplied by the Victoria Police Department. Only names, place names, and dates have been altered. And now this is Roland Strong reminding you to listen again next week for another authentic case in this series, D24, which is produced in the studios of Hector Crawford Productions by Dorothy Crawford.
There he goes into that drugstore. He's stepping on the scales.
Weight 239 pounds. Fortune, danger.
Who is it? The Fat Man.
Fat man can be very self-conscious sometimes and also very shy. He's conscious of being overweight and will do everything in his power to be self-effacing. In my business, it's not a bad idea either, because when you're on the trail of some of the characters I run into, the more inconspicuous you are, the more chances you have to nab the murderer. And now here's the fat man in Murder Wears a False Face. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen, runs the old spirit. The trouble I see usually starts with murder. Like the morning I answered Joyce Kenyon's call for help. Private secretary to wealthy Vincent Maitland, the well-known book collector, Joyce looked like the proverbial $1 million. I found her in Vincent Maitland's house on Fifth Avenue.
Oh, Mr. Runyon, I'm so glad you're here. This note, it came in the mail just now.
Let me have it. I killed my wife, now I'll kill you. An accident for her, a knife for you.
It's Scott's signature, but I can't believe he'd write it to me.
Who's Scott? Not exactly a friend of yours, is he?
Mr. Runyon, he's my fiancé. We're going to get married.
Yeah?
I just don't know what's happened to him. He disappeared 5 days ago. I'm just worried sick about him.
Why not call the Missing Persons Bureau?
Oh, no, the publicity would hurt his business. Scott's a rare book dealer. It might hurt his little girl.
I get it now. Scott Pearson, huh?
Oh, you know him?
I know a little about the rare book business, part of my homemade education. He said he killed his wife. How about that?
Scott couldn't kill anybody. His wife died in an auto accident 3 years ago. Scott was badly hurt in the same crash.
Any reason why he'd threaten you?
Of course not. He's been under considerable nervous strain lately. But he wouldn't tell me why.
You don't know why he's threatened you or why he's disappeared?
Oh, excuse me. Hello?
Darling, I'm going to kill you.
What?
Humpty Dumpty.
Scott, where are you?
Tell him I want to see him.
Yes, Scott, listen to me.
What's he saying?
Scott, please. I want to talk to you. I'm so worried. Scott. Oh. He's hung up. He wouldn't answer me. He simply recited Humpty Dumpty.
The nursery rhyme? That all?
No. His very first words were, "Darling, I'm going to kill you."
In 3 minutes flat, I had Pearson's call traced. It had been made from his business number. We caught a fast cab to his office the other side of Broadway. It was empty. And everyone I questioned in the building said Pearson hadn't been around for 5 days. At that point, his girlfriend broke down, but good. So I took her back to my office and told her to stay there.
I can't do that, Mr. Runyon. Mr. Maitland wants to know where I am. It's my job.
Is your job or your life more important to you?
Oh, it's Scott who's important. You've got to find out what's happened to him.
Then stay here until I get back. You're about a half-inch away from murder. You don't want anyone shoving you over the goal line. In the cab, Joyce had told me about Pearson's sister-in-law, Sylvia Lawton. Sylvia was his housekeeper and looked after his daughter after his wife died. She opened the door to me in Pearson's apartment in the East 50s.
Mr. Runyon, oh, this is horrible. I can't believe Scott would threaten Miss Kenyon this way.
So Joyce said. But she also said he'd written the note, and she said it was his voice on the phone. You have any ideas about it, Miss Lawton?
I can't imagine why Scott would do this. I simply don't know what could have happened to him.
Where's his little girl?
Oh, staying with her grandmother, thank goodness.
His fiancée told me he's been pretty nervous lately. What do you think's been worrying him?
Scott never told me anything about his business. I only know he's been quite worried in recent weeks.
When did he ask Joyce Kenyon to marry him?
Just last week. He's known her for only a short time.
What do you think of her?
Oh, she's quite pretty, but I don't see what that has to do with Scott's trouble.
Don't you? Did you know she was going to call me?
Of course. We both agreed we had to start looking for him. Oh, by the way, you might want this.
Thanks. Seems a good-looking guy.
Yes, my sister thought he was very handsome.
Do you think he killed your sister?
I've always thought it was an accident, but now I don't know what to believe.
Don't you know anything about Pearson's business at all? What's his reputation in the trade? How many employees does he have?
Oh, he has an excellent reputation. He has one man working for him, Harry Lindley. I don't know what Lindley actually does. He's worked for Scott for 3 years now. Scott doesn't like him, though.
And yet he's kept him on his payroll for 3 years. Where can I get in touch with Lindley?
I don't know. He's been out of town for over a week.
That's a big help. You have anything else I can work on?
Well, Scott brought home his account books and correspondence just before he disappeared.
Lead me to her, Miss Lawton. Maybe I can read between the lines. Checking over Pearson's accounts, I realized the rare book business was big-time stuff. He'd made some really fancy sales, $20,000 and $30,000 a crack. The biggest 3 years before, when he'd sold Vincent Maitland a Shakespeare folio of Troilus and Cressida for 75 G's. Shortly after, before his wife died, he'd taken Harry Lindley on his payroll. His weekly payments to Lindley had become progressively larger. Unusually large. I've seen items like that before, and they've added up to one thing: blackmail. It was enough to send me over to Vincent Maitland's house again.
Well, Runyon, what do you want? My secretary told me about you and her problem, but I don't know if I can help you.
You could, if you could tell me where Scott Pearson is.
I would if I could. I've been trying to reach him for 4 days now. Where is he?
That's what I'm trying to find out. His fiancée just hired me. Funny you didn't know about it. Anyway, what's your interest in him?
The scoundrel's ruined my reputation. 3 years ago, he sold me a certain rare manuscript.
Troilus and Cressida?
Exactly. I sold it at a profit last week. Now I find it's a forgery. I've got to find Pearson and get my money and the truth from him.
What makes you so sure it's a forgery?
Spectroscopic examination of the paper and ink. The paper's genuine 17th century, but not the ink. My buyer's appraiser tested it, something I didn't do when I bought it from Pearson. Oh, confound that phone. Hello? What? No, she isn't here. Yes, I have your number. Goodbye. Blasted nuisance. Young idiot keeps calling my secretary. Sounds lovesick.
Sounds interesting. Who is he?
Interesting? Don't be absurd. But, what does this have to do with Pearson?
Why not let me find out? Who's the guy so interested in Joyce Kenyon?
Oh, his name's Ron Jordan. Runs a garage in Manhasset.
You have his number?
Here. See him if you like, but remember this. It's Pearson's number I'm after.
Ron Jordan's filling station and garage was on a lonely stretch of road on Long Island, down near the shore. It didn't look like any potential gold mine. The garage at back was all locked up. A skinny guy in overalls was out front whittling on a stick, using his knife as though he was carving up his worst enemy. I pulled up to a stop beside the gasoline pumps. Hi, fill her up.
Yes, sir.
You Ron Jordan?
That's right.
Get in touch with Joyce yet?
Get in touch. Say, what is this?
Just my own private survey, Jordan. Why so interested in Joyce?
Look, mister, you're begging for a poke in the nose.
Keep pumping, sweetheart. I don't like being poked, and I have the weight to back it up. Now, how about Joyce?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
My name's Runyon, private detective. Joyce hired me to find her fiancé, Scott Pearson.
The heel.
Oh, a friend of yours.
He's no friend of mine. Joyce was going to marry me until she met Pearson.
She was, huh? When did that happen?
This summer while I was busy here. It's the summer season that brings in the dough. I worked like a dog and lost my girl.
You sound like you threw in the sponge pretty early.
Well, I went back home to Pittsburgh. Well, that didn't help. I just got back this morning.
Where did Joyce meet him? At Maitland's?
Yeah. He started work there last June. How come Joyce wants you to find him?
Pearson's disappeared. And he's sent her a threatening letter.
Joyce, too, huh? Here, take a look at this.
When'd you get this?
This morning. I've been trying to call Joyce about it. Hey, go ahead, read.
I killed my wife, Jordan. Now I'll kill my next wife, and you'll be double cheated, not only double crossed. Typewritten like the first one.
He's a maniac, Runyon.
All the signs of paranoia are here, all right.
Oh, find him. Find him before something happens to Joyce.
Still lugging the torch around, huh?
Never mind that. Find him and let him know. For his own sake, Runyon, if he harms Joyce in any way, I swear I'll kill him.
When I went back to my office, I found Joyce Kenyon seated in my desk chair. And she jumped like a startled gazelle when I walked in.
Oh.
Although I must say I've never seen a startled gazelle in nylon.
Oh, it's only you, Mr. Runyon.
Yeah, it sure is. You've had a long wait, haven't you?
It seemed like an eternity.
Any visitors?
Not even a phone call. Have you found out anything yet?
Well, I just saw Ron Jordan.
Ron? How did you find out about him?
Maitland told me. Jordan called you, and I went back to Maitland's house. Excuse me. Hello?
Hello, Runyon.
Speaking.
Vincent Maitland. I've had a call about my Troilus and Cressida from Harry Lindley, the chap who works for Pearson. He wants me to meet him in Pearson's office.
We'll see him together, Maitland. I'll be right over.
I still don't get this, Runyon. I don't get it at all.
I think we'll find out Lindley's been blackmailing Pearson over your Troilus and Cressida. That's why Pearson had him on his payroll.
You mean Lindley knew it was a forgery?
Yeah. Now that Pearson's vanished, Lindley figures he can make another buck telling you it's a fake.
He's crazy if he thinks he'll get anything out of me for that.
Well, here's the office. Let me handle Lindley.
I'm going to get my hands on Pearson, that's all.
Looks like... Oh,
Great
Scott. Yeah. Looks like we're too late. It's as true now as it ever was. Dead men tell no tales. The corpse on the floor had been slugged with a mechanic's wrench. The wrench lay near the typewriter stand. Alive, the corpse had been a little guy in a snappy chalk-striped suit. A sharp little guy with a pinched rodent face. It wasn't Scott Pearson, that much was certain.
It's It's Harry Lindley.
Shut the door, Maitland.
What? Let's get out of here. I can't get mixed up in anything like this.
Shut the door. We'll give the place a quick once-over first. Let's see if our stiff is really Harry Lindley.
You don't touch him. Your fingerprints.
Don't worry about fingerprints. It's his wallet.
What's in it?
A $10 bill, pocket comb, driver's license. That's Harry Lindley, all right. A scrap of paper with a phone number on it.
Why, that's my phone number.
Okay. We'll keep that for your collection.
Is that all he had?
Yeah, he traveled light. It can go back in his pocket.
Hey, let's get out of here, Runyon. We found out what we want to know. You won't find anything. There's nothing here.
Isn't there? What about this?
What?
Look at this note on the typewriter. My final warning before you die, I tell you...
That's all?
Yeah. Somebody was interrupted.
Lindley, you mean?
Or Pearson. I'll compare the typing with the other two notes. Suppose I ought to answer that?
Hey, you out of your mind, Runyon. We've got to get out of here.
Take it easy. Not going to lose.
No. No, he's been gone for 3 days. Goodbye.
That's funny.
What was it?
That was Sylvia Lawton. This phone rings at Pearson's home, too.
What's that got to do with it, Runyon? Let's go, for heaven's sake.
Wait a second. Here's something else.
Now what?
A man's cufflink. A monogram cufflink.
Let me see those initials. S.P. Scott Pearson.
Could be. Or Sam Price, or Steve Palmer.
It has to be Pearson. You said Lindley was blackmailing him. His cufflink was torn off in the struggle.
Yeah. Well, now we can blow, Maitland. We've got to notify the police, but I don't intend to welcome them when they get here. We left the office without being seen. Down in the lobby, Maitland went his way, and I called Mackenzie at Homicide. Then I scooted back to my own office. My phone was ringing as I came down the hall. I wondered why Joyce Kenyon didn't answer it. When I opened the door, I saw why. She was gone. Hello, Runyon speaking.
Oh, Mr. Runyon, this is Sylvia Lawton. I've been trying to get you.
I've been out. Nobody answered, huh?
I know. I've called several times. Don't you have a secretary?
Only at Christmases and New Year's. What's up, Miss Lawton?
I've just received a note from Scott. It's horrible. Fantastic.
I can imagine. What's it say?
Now Joyce will die, too. Not like Helen, a blade through the heart. Just 1 day more.
What's the postmark on the envelope?
Long Island, Manhasset.
The others were postmarked Grand Central Station. You sure it's from Pearson?
I know his signature. The message is typed like the other one.
All right, Miss Lawton. I'll see you later.
What's happened, Mr.
What did... Oh. Where have you been, little Miss Muffet?
I just couldn't stand being cooped up in this office. I simply had to get out and walk around.
How far did you walk? To Pearson's office?
What do you mean? I haven't been outside the building.
Harry Lindley's dead. I found him murdered in Pearson's office.
Lindley? The little man who worked for Scott?
Yeah. Surprised? What do you know about him?
Only that Scott didn't like him, but if he's dead, who could have done it?
What do you think?
I don't know what to think. I'm all mixed up now. I've never been so scared in all my life.
If you're so scared, why did you leave my office?
I told you why. I had to get out and move around. I've been walking up and down these corridors.
You may have to prove that, sweetheart.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Why would I kill Harry Lindley?
He was struck from behind. He might have been mistaken for Scott Pearson.
But I'd never want to kill Scott. You know that.
I don't know anything from what you've told me. You didn't even mention Ron Jordan, remember?
I forgot about Ron. That's all over anyway.
Not for Ron, it isn't. And Lindley was killed with a mechanic's wrench.
If you're accusing Ron or even myself...
Just stay right here, sweethearts. You're still too young to die. Even in the electric chair. Leaving Joyce in my office, I drove back to Ron Jordan's garage. Fog was creeping in from the sound like a gray shroud covering the dying afternoon. Nobody was out front. The garage doors were open a crack, so I started towards them. Wisps of fog touched my face with clammy fingers, and then, all at once...
Who is it? Who's there?
Hi, Jordan.
What are you doing back here, Runyon? What do you want?
What's wrong? Why so jumpy?
You're crazy. There's nothing wrong with me?
Not much. You're shaking like an old-time Model T.
Come on, quit kidding. Hey, come on, I'll buy you a Coke.
Sounds like bribery, Jordan. You come on.
Let go of my arm.
You want it broken at the wrist or the elbow?
Runyon, I'll do. All right.
Okay. Harry Lindley was killed with a wrench. We'll go check your tool rack.
Now, look, wait a minute, Runyon. I don't know any Lindley. You're making a mistake, Runyon.
Then why the shakes? It's not that cold, sweetheart.
I'm upset about Joyce, that's all. I've been thinking about her and Pearson. I've been getting madder by the minute.
He's too old for her, eh? And he has a family.
Sure. A daughter. The kid may not even like Joyce.
Funny, you should start worrying about that when you know Pearson's already threatened to kill Joyce. Open those doors. Now, turn on the light.
Now, look, Runyon. Like I told you, I've been aware. I just opened up back here.
Save it, sweetheart. Save your breath for the DA. That's Scott Pearson in that truck, isn't it? Isn't it?
You're not getting me for this, Runyon. You. No one let you. I'm getting out.
Come back here, Jordan. I'll shoot. I aimed for his legs, but he was already outside. I raced after him, but fog swallowed him up. I groped my way back to Scott Pearson in the garage, slugged from behind like Harry Lindley. His body in an open delivery truck. He'd been dead several days. I went through his pockets and came up with a sales slip from a music shop on 42nd Street. After calling the police and spreading the alarm for Jordan, I called my office. No answer. Joyce Kenyon was gone again. I climbed into my car and headed for Manhattan. When I reached my office...
Runyon, where have you been?
Why the personal visit, Maitland?
I wanted to know what progress you've made. I was just leaving.
Yeah? Come on in.
Well, how about it, Runyon? Have you found out anything new about Pearson?
Yeah, he's dead. Murdered.
What?
I found him in Jordan's garage. He's been dead for several days, maybe a whole week.
But that means...
It means a lot of things, Maitland. You know Pearson's home number?
No, I don't. What good will it do to call there?
Skip it. Here it is. Hey, wait a minute.
What?
Pearson's number, residence and office. Remember, his business phone rings at home as well as at the office.
Well, there's nothing unusual about that.
Not to you, maybe. But not many businessmen have the same phone number for two different addresses.
Well, what of it? What difference does it make?
With what I found in Pearson's pocket, it turns this case right onto its ear. Come on. We're getting over to Pearson's apartment right away.
What's all this about, Runyon?
You'll find out.
Yes? Oh, Mr. Runyon.
I thought you were going to stay in my office.
I'm awfully sorry, but Miss Lawton called you. When I talked to her, I decided to come and stay with her. I thought I'd be safer here.
You have funny ideas about being safe. Where's Miss Lawton?
Oh, excuse me. She's busy in the next room. Hello?
Darling, I'm going to kill you.
Scott!
Humpty Dumpty.
Scott, where are you?
You mean that's Pearson on the wire?
Runyon, that can't be.
Oh, Scott!
All the king's
Mr. Runyon, he's
all
saying
the
the same
king's
thing
men.
again.
Humpty Dumpty, eh? I thought so. You can stop that record, sweetheart.
What in the world?
Get your hands above the desk, Miss Lawton.
Just what is the meaning of this?
It won't do any good to hide that record player now. I happen to know Pearson's already dead.
Dead? I don't believe it.
Oh, stop it. I know you killed him, so why try to bluff me?
I see. Get your hands up, Mr. Runyon. What on earth is this all about? You too, Joyce. And you, Mr. Maitland.
Now, look, you can't be serious.
Oh!
My arm!
I'm very serious, you see. What did you first suspect, Mr. Runyon?
When I found Pearson's cufflink, Maitland thought it was torn from his sleeve during a struggle with Lindley, but there wasn't any struggle. The cufflink was planted evidence.
You couldn't have suspected me then. You couldn't.
You're right. It wasn't until I realized Pearson had his office phone at home. I'd found a slip from a music shop in his pocket. Then I remembered his Humpty Dumpty message. I knew he'd bought one of those record-your-own-voice records.
But he said, darling, I'm going to kill you.
Because it was for his daughter, he was kidding her.
So that's why he laughed.
Yeah. Sylvia here used his business wire to call his house number, and then played the record to you.
You're very clever, Mr. Runyon. Keep your hands
You
up.
were too clever, sweetheart. You'd been in love with Pearson a long time, hadn't you?
For years. When he told me he was going to marry this little snip, he asked me to drive out to see Jordan with him to prevent future trouble. That's where I killed him. Killed? Oh, no!
Jordan stumbled across his body just before I got there. He got panicky and ran.
Stupid fool. I wanted to destroy Scott completely. His memory, his reputation, everything.
What made you kill Lindley?
I had to. Came across me typing another note in Scott's office. He guessed the truth, unfortunately for him.
And for you. You spun your last platter as an amateur disc jockey, baby.
Stay where you are. I still have a gun.
It won't do you any good. Hand it over.
Mr. Runyon, look out!
Oh! That's all from you, Sylvia.
Oh! You...
There now, relax. How's the arm, Maitland?
Just grazed. Nothing serious.
Well, it'll be serious for our little friend here. When the DA finishes with her, shooting you will pound another nail in that coffin that's waiting for her up the river. Well, that's that. It seems I spend my life in getting into trouble and getting out of it. But at the same time, I generally manage to get some other people in and out of trouble, too. Be seeing you again. So long.
the Wahroonga house was a phony English-looking job with gables and the inevitable BMW in the driveway. Inside, the good taste was professionally pre-packaged, but the house felt unloved, unlived in. When I met the owner, I realised why. Nobody home there either.
It's a custody case.
The space between divorcing couples is like the Somme, littered with the bodies of the innocent and the foolhardy. It'd take more than a shot of whiskey to make me go over the top.
Of a sort.
What sort?
The objects of the dispute are canine.
Dogs? You're having a custody battle over dogs?
2 dogs, to be precise.
Ooh. Big dogs? Savage dogs? German dogs?
No. Well, biggish, but not savage. Definitely not savage. On the contrary, they're very friendly. They're English sheepdogs. Stan and Ollie. Here's a photo.
At least one member of the family had a sense of humour. I examined her photograph. Fiona MacLeod had long brown hair, Carly Simon teeth, legs like Linda Ronstadt's before she got fat, and a definite glint in her eye. I wondered how she'd stuck it out so long with the young Winston. I take it your wife wants the dogs.
My wife has the dogs, Mr. Fish, and I want them back.
Well, whose dogs are they?
Mine. I paid for them.
I get the feeling Mrs. MacLeod isn't just going to hand the dogs to me on a platter. How do you want me to go about getting them back?
Use your judgment.
It'll cost you. He named a fee. I sat tight, mentally factoring in rabies, fleas, the indignity of it all, and the glint in Fiona MacLeod's eye. He cracked and raised it. Now I had an idea how much he wanted to punish his wife. I demanded a bonus of $5,000 on delivery of the dogs safe and well. He paled, protested, and capitulated. I was bored. So where are Stan and Ollie and Mrs. MacLeod?
I don't know. She's gone underground.
Well, who does she know who doesn't like you and has room for 2 big dogs?
There's her friend, Lucy Legay. She lives in Palm Beach. Her brother, Ambrose Pierce. Ambrose has a flat in Double Bay. And her mother, Mary Woods. She's married to a farmer with a property outside Glen Innes.
I can't see 2 English sheepdogs in a flat in Double Bay. The neighbours would have a fit. So it's Palm Beach or Glen Innes, I reckon. How does she get on with her mother?
It's a very close family. Very close.
I'll start with Lucy Legay, but I'll need a cover. What does Fiona do?
Fiona shops.
Before she got married there?
She was an airline stewardess with Qantas.
And when was this?
82 to 88.
I'll be on my way then.
Well, I'll show you out. Just one thing, Mr. Fish. Fiona is no fool. And she has an extensive knowledge of the male psychology.
Fiona MacLeod was beginning to interest me. I needed a bit of excitement in my life. First, Palm Beach. Hangout of silvertails and surfers, and more recently, reclusive heroin dealers and bestseller writers. Lucy Legay's house was what locals like to call a shack. In this part of the world, a shack starts at about $500,000.
I'm out the back in the garden.
Mrs. Legay?
Yes?
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm Sid Fish. I write for the Qantas Staff magazine. I'm doing a feature on former hosties. I wanted to talk to Fiona MacLeod. I was told you might know where she is.
Did you ask her husband?
Well, Mr. McLeod seems to have lost touch with his wife. He's the one who gave me your name.
Really? Poor Hamish. It's hot and I need a drink. Care to join me, or are you one of those dreary people who won't touch alcohol before sunset?
What son?
Let's go onto the veranda. You can see the water from there. I'll be out in a minute.
I tried not to do too much full frontal staring as Lucy Legay busied herself making us drinks and rustling up some snack food. Small-boned and light on her feet like a dancer, she had dark blonde wavy hair cut to show off her long neck. Green eyes, a golden tan, and good cheekbones.
Fiona's staying with her mother in Glen Innes. Might be a bit far to go for an interview.
You might be right.
How is Hamish, by the way? What did he say about Fiona?
No, not much. No love lost there, I'd say. But he didn't give away much. He's a pretty cold sort of a bloke.
Cold men are the most dangerous sort. Do you want another drink?
Yeah, thanks. You worked with Fiona?
Yes.
Well, maybe you can tell me then. Why would an intelligent woman want to be a flying tea lady?
Was a damn sight better than being a doctor's receptionist and marrying a bank clerk and moving into the same street as your parents. And let's face it, where else would you meet that many men?
So did you meet Mr. Wright on QF11?
Not exactly. I met him in Singapore.
Seems to have worked out rather well.
I may have the house, but I don't know if I've still got the man. My husband disappeared 3 years ago on a business trip. In the Philippines, as far as the police can tell. He might even be dead.
What was he doing in the Philippines?
Oh, I never asked.
Why not?
Suppose I was afraid.
I take it you didn't think he was selling office equipment.
No, that's not Jean-Paul's speed at all.
You've been living here by yourself all this time.
Yes, I have my garden and a few friends.
I was living dangerously again, falling in love with Lucy Legay and planning to steal her best friend's best friends. But then I needed the money. And unless Fiona spotted me, Lucy'd never find out.
Oh, it's getting dark. I'll turn on some lamps.
This is very Somerset Maugham. I expect Sadie Thompson to walk in any moment.
At least it's not raining. Would you like a smoke?
Why not? I watched as she rolled some joints with small brown hands. She wasn't wearing a wedding ring. We had a smoke and talked softly, filling in bits of our past. She used her hands a lot when she talked. I must have been staring at them because she flushed suddenly and folded them in her lap. I'd have to watch my eyes. You smoke much of this stuff?
Oh, only since Jean-Paul disappeared. Daydreams are better than nightmares.
Such melancholy in her voice. She'd kicked off her sandals and put one bare brown foot on the coffee table. I leaned over, picked it up, and stroked it, and ran my tongue along the soft inside of her soul, watching her face, her eyes closed.
Sid, I haven't done this for such a long time. You'll have to be patient with me. Let's go inside.
Lucy had a wonderful smell, very light, with a musky undernote. The sort of perfume you can't buy in bottles. She came to me with enormous relief, as if I'd rescued her from a desert island. In the middle of the night, she told me about her life.
Living with Jean-Paul was like being on a roller coaster. When I put all the pieces together, I realised he must have been trafficking. And I'd been living on the profits. I suppose I went to pieces.
Are you okay now?
I think so. But I didn't do it by myself. Fiona dragged me through it. She's very strong.
You're that close?
Well, that's the strange part. We are now, but we weren't at Qantas. Fiona rang me up one night out of the blue when I was desperate for someone to talk to. She probably saved my life. You know what really pulled me through? This patchwork quilt. When I was going through the worst, I used to listen to music and sew my quilt. I think I sewed most of the hurt and anger into this quilt. And the guilt.
It's a long way to Glen Innes on the inland route, up Highway 15, through the Hunter, Country and Western Land, and Armidale. The countryside around Glen Innes was green and lush, a tribute to Scottish hard work and Australian agronomy. I like to think I could drop out to one of these country towns. Everything seems simpler there. Ah, but it's probably an illusion. People shoot each other a lot in the bush.
A long black, please, and one of those buns with the pink icing. And lots of butter.
As I was soaking up the caffeine and the local colour, Fiona McLeod, her mother, and the two Disney dogs walked by. They were a little too glamorous for Glen Innes, as if they'd strayed out of a country road catalogue. In person, Fiona McLeod was athletic-looking and confident. She laughed a lot. Her marriage might be broken, but her heart appeared to be intact.
Sorry, I've got to run. Will $2 do?
Eventually, they drove off in a white station wagon with me in tow. They led me to a thriving farm with a big white farmhouse with green trims. I was too conspicuous out here, so I drove back to the highway and parked under some trees. Oh, give me strength. It was boring, and I was hungry, and absolutely nothing happened. I revised my fantasy about going bush, wasted several hours, then headed back to town. Saturday night saw me marooned in the pub, faced with the choice of the town bore, who moaned about the new gun legislation, and soaps on regional TV. I gave up and went back to my motel room and rang Lizzie Darcy on the off chance. What are you doing at home on a Saturday night?
Oh, gee, thanks, mate. That really makes me feel better. I'm getting drunk, of course. How about you?
Oh, I'm still sober. The pubs are too depressing. All that talk about dieback and blight. I expected Hanrahan to walk in any minute and tell us we'd all be ruined.
Where on earth are you?
Glen Innes.
Glen Innes? What are you doing there?
Dog napping?
Oh, God, Sid. I thought you'd hit rock bottom working for a Liberal politician. Whose dogs?
This pompous ass Hamish McLeod's trying to get them back from his wife, Fiona. Yeah, she's holed up at a farm with her mother and her mother's new husband.
Old Hamish McLeod, well...
Yeah, not that I can get near the bloody dogs. Woods looks like the kind of bloke who'd shoot anyone he caught trying to lift his livestock.
Oh, shooting's too good for dog duffers. They'll hang you for sure.
Oh, thanks, mate.
What's Fiona McLeod like?
Great legs, wonderful teeth.
You're buying her to race or to breed?
Oh, how the hell would I know what she's like? I haven't fronted up and introduced myself. I'm trying to be unobtrusive.
Oh, really? How? By chewing on a straw and talking out of the side of your mouth?
Yeah, and spitting in the dust.
How'd you find Hamish?
He's a pompous little prick. And vindictive. He's too piss weak to slug it out with Fiona, so he's hired me to grab the dogs.
Don't underestimate him, Sid. Cowards can get very dangerous when they're cornered.
If he gives me a hard time, I'll bounce off his bald spot.
And you'll end up in court. Listen, If Hamish turns nasty, tell him Lizzie Darcy said hello. And does he remember the conference in Manila, 1986? But only use it in an emergency. He might overreact. About these dogs. The folks in that part of the world are God-fearing Scots, Sid. I'll bet they still go to church on Sundays.
Early on Sunday morning, I returned to my posse on the highway and hunkered down to wait.
Baptist minister, the Reverend Paul Burnham, is one of a growing number.
Chewing my way through stale ham sandwiches and a piece of fruitcake so dry it must have been left over from Miss Havisham's wedding feast, I hallucinated about scones and jam and cream and a baked dinner. At 6:15, the Woods wagon appeared, heading for evening service. There were no doggy noses pressed against the windows.
Anyone home?
Hysterical barking led me to the backyard where the dogs were chained up. At least I wouldn't be done for break and enter. Stan and Ollie welcomed me with open paws. They thought I'd come to take them for a walk. They were right. Thank you, Lizzie Darcy. Bless your little black convent girl's heart. The timing was perfect. There wasn't a flight to Sydney till the next afternoon. All going well, I'd be in Wahroonga before Fiona McLeod could hop a plane. I decided to go back the way I'd come. It was predictable, but I had a head start.
Fill her up, will you, mate? I'm going to get her something to eat. Here, I've brought you some hamburgers. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I waited in the shadows while the mechanic scraped the dead bugs off the windscreen. He was about 30, compact and well-muscled, with tats and something weird about the eyes. A man with a short fuse. Presently, a teenage girl slipped from the garage to talk to the dogs. She was a skinny, fox-faced little brunette with a vivid black eye.
Nice dogs.
Yeah.
What are they called?
Stan and Ollie.
Funny names.
Yeah.
Hey, mister. How about giving me a lift?
Where to?
You're going to Sydney, aren't you?
Yeah.
That'll do. I can pay for some of the petrol.
No dice.
Please. I've got to get away from Lance. That's my stepfather.
He give you the black eye.
Yeah.
Look, sorry, mate. It can't be done. You're underage, and I can't afford to have Lance after me at the moment. Or the cops. Mistake. Her eyes popped open. Maybe I was an armed bandit. Anything would be better than Lance.
Tracy! Get inside! I won't tell you again.
Tracy scuttled away, and I breathed again. Then went into the men's to get the stink of dogs and hamburgers off me. I was sorry for Tracy, but I couldn't save the whole suffering world. Not today, anyway.
Oh, shut up, damn you! Okay, but don't get too far away. Back in the car. Ow! You! Oh, get out!
Oh, no!
Look, do you realise what you're doing to me? I could get 10 years for this. Look, you're a minor, for God's sake.
No.
Look, I'm abducting a minor.
Oh, so don't.
Oh, shut up, you stupid buggers. You're as bad as she is.
The girl climbed out and made a small movement as if to run, and I grabbed her arm. It was like holding a terrified sparrow. I stopped shouting, retracted my fangs, and turned back into a human being.
Get in the front. We're taking you home before the highway patrol catches up with me. Or bloody Lance.
God, what's that?
Well, it's not me, it's them.
Must have been Mum's hamburgers.
Oh, oh,
Oh, yeah.
Just what we need. An accident.
The racket awoke my passengers, and before I could move, Ollie was halfway out the window.
Stop him, for God's sake. He's getting away.
Well, it wasn't my fault. He was too fast. I'll go after him.
You stay here, damn you. You want to get me arrested? Sit. Look, you keep him here while I get the other one.
I'll make a deal with you.
Well, talk fast before the deputy sheriff comes over for a chat.
I won't give you away if you put me on the Brisbane Express.
What the hell's the Brisbane Express?
It's a train to Brisbane.
Where does it stop?
Coffs, Grafton, Casino, Kyogle.
Well, Grafton's the closest one, and it's bloody hours away. What's in Brisbane, anyway?
Me gran, she'll let me stay with her.
All right, anything. Look, the cop's about to bring the dog back. Get down!
Great dog, mate. All right, you can go through now.
Thanks, officer. Get in the car before I boot you up the arse.
For about 20 k's, I harangued the girl. When I ran out of abuse, she demanded equal time, and I got her life story. There were no surprises. Wake up, everybody. We're in Grafton.
When's the next train to Brisbane, mate?
5:19.
20 minutes. God, I'd sell my soul for a coffee. Here, I'll buy you a Mars bar.
Oh, great.
The dogs snoozed and Tracy was mercifully silent. Then a couple of ghostly backpackers appeared out of the gloom, and the train arrived.
Your train's here.
I know. I'm not blind.
Here's some money. Don't spend it all in one place.
Thanks, Sid.
You be safe on the train?
God, you're ridiculous. I'm 15.
Yeah. Send me a postcard then, so I'll know you're okay.
All aboard! Sid, I wouldn't have dogged you in, really, you know.
Please, I don't want to hear this. Hey, stay. Ollie, come here, damn you. You can't go on the train.
Go on. Get.
McLeod, Sid Fish.
Where have you been? Why haven't you kept me informed?
Now stop whinging. I've got the dogs. Meet me at the picnic spot in Ku-ring-gai Chase near the kiosk.
When?
I'm about an hour away.
I found Hamish McLeod's BMW in the parking lot and pulled in beside him. As I was getting out of my car, a white Mercedes convertible glided in behind us and cut off our escape route. Fiona McLeod and a good-looking man climbed out and walked towards me. Goodbye, Bonus. And goodbye, Lucy Legay. Up close, Fiona McLeod's companion looked dissipated, and the blue eyes were cold and empty. I quickly lost interest in his face when I saw the shotgun. He pointed it nonchalantly at my belly and smiled.
My brother, Ambrose.
The dogs.
What on earth have you been feeding them?
Try not to get in my way again, sweetheart. And tell your friend
to keep away from my sister.
Fiona McLeod and her brother drove off looking like any ordinary yuppie family in a car ad. I'd been trying not to show fear, but my knees were weak. Shotguns do that to you. As soon as the coast was clear, Hamish McLeod surfaced, pale and sweating.
Thanks a lot, Hamish.
Well, I don't think he would have shot you.
Just pay me and let me get out of here before I tear your cheeks off, fat face. Where's the rest?
You didn't get the dogs back safely. That was the deal.
The deal didn't have any gun-toting brothers-in-law in it, and you led them here, you moron. Let's just call it danger money.
McLeod's face set, and he folded his arms, looking like an obstinate cane toad. There was only one thing to do.
By the way, I have this really good friend. You might know of her. Lizzie Darcy?
Lizzie Darcy?
You know, the journalist. Lizzie said to say hi. She said you'd remember her from Manila. 1986, I think she said.
He seemed to deflate before my eyes, and his Mont Blanc pen fell from his fingers. I picked it up and placed it in his hand, and he wrote me another cheque mechanically.
Old Ambrose back in town, eh? I'd heard they'd started a clean-up in Manila. Sydney's in for a crime wave. I'd stay out of his way if I were you, Sid.
Yeah, that's what he said. Well, the least you can do is tell me what it's all about.
Well, now that you've come to Ambrose's attention, you should know what you're up against. I was covering an international banking conference. Hamish McLeod and some of the boys had a party in a hotel room, and it got a little rough, and one of the local working girls took a dive off the balcony. It was all hushed up. I'm pretty sure Ambrose sorted it out for McLeod. It was probably one of his girls.
Close-knit family, Hamish said.
Well, yes. Ambrose is pretty loathsome, but he seems to be genuinely fond of his sister. What do you think of the toothsome Fiona now?
Beats me. Well, some of her friends would go all the way for her, but she married a slug and her brother's a pimp.
And she goes to church. Very complex.
A couple of days later, I got a postcard with the big pineapple on it. Tracy thanked me and invited me to visit Queensland any time. Maybe it was all worth it, I thought sentimentally. Then I read the last sentence. P.S. You're as weak as piss, Sid.
Coffee lounge. A brunette. The coffee was good. The brunette, Mary, was tall, shapely, and easy to get along with. We were talking about inconsequential things,
I wonder if there'll be another war.
and the guy entered the joint. He stood in the doorway, blotting out the street. Looked around, saw me, blinked, came to the table. Hi, Kent. Hi, Mike. Cup of coffee? Yeah. Well, it's been nice seeing you. Now, as I was saying, Mary...
Kent.
Huh?
Nick.
Well, what about Nick?
He wants to see you.
Okay. Tell him to go along to my office.
No.
He wants to see you now.
Look, I'm having some coffee later when I'm finished, maybe.
Come on, Kent.
Hey, you're rumpling the sleeve of my coat.
Get on your feet.
Mike, I don't like to be ordered
Come
around.
on.
Okay. Up I go, and down you go.
Please, my furniture, man. Nice new furniture.
Oh, you want me to take you to Nick the hard way, huh? Okay, Kent, get ready for it.
I'm waiting.
Here it comes.
You shouldn't have put a stamp on it. Have a jab and a right. I like you, Mike. You go down so easy. Hey, you getting up again, Mike?
No, not this time.
Yeah, it gets monotonous, doesn't it? Up and down, up and down.
There'll be another time.
Sure, Mike. It's always a pleasure.
There's something you forgot, Ken.
Oh? What's that?
When he wants, Nick Stroller can be tough. Maybe he'll decide to get tough with you.
Hey, you tell Nick that if he wants to see me and his business is legitimate, all he's got to do is come to my office, okay?
Yeah, I tell him that. But maybe he won't like it.
Good worker, Mr. Kent. You did not hurt none of my nice new furniture.
Well, you can show your appreciation by getting us some fresh coffee, Louis.
Oh, sure thing, Mr. Kent. I go get it.
Gosh, Larry, that was a quick fight.
Well, I can't take much credit. Mike throws his punches in slow motion.
He seemed anxious to take you to that man named Nick.
Yeah, Nick Stroller.
You know, I've heard that name somewhere.
Nick runs a gambling ship.
Oh, that's right. There was a story about him and his yacht in one of the Sunday papers.
Yeah.
I wonder what he wants to see you about.
Well, whatever it is, honey, it's trouble. Nick's that kind of a guy. Three hours later, in my office... Larry Kent, Private Investigations.
Larry. How are you, Larry? Nick Stroller here.
Oh.
Mike. Larry, you should see Mike. I never saw a black eye like it.
I'm sorry about that, Nick, but
I
Mike...
understand, Larry, I understand. You're the kind of bloke who doesn't like to be pushed around.
Yeah, that's right, Nick.
My fault. I should have picked a better way of getting in touch with you, Larry. Listen, Larry, I'm in trouble.
Oh?
I want that you should come up to my flat, Larry, and have a nice, long talk with me. How about that, Larry?
Nick, what kind of trouble?
Well, I'll tell you when you get here. Oh, don't worry. I'll make it worth your while. You don't have to worry about that. You'll come, won't you, Larry? Right away.
Okay, Nick.
That's my boy. You know where I live, Biltmore Arms, Darlinghurst, top floor. The whole top floor is mine, Larry. When will I see you?
As soon as I get there, Nick.
Good. I'll be waiting for you. So long, Larry.
20 minutes later, I entered the Biltmore Arms building, took the elevator to the top floor. In front of me was an ivory door with a gold-plated buzzer. As I reached for the buzzer...
Come in, Ken.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Where's Nick? Well...
Hello?
She had honey blonde hair, lovely ankles, and in between, 5.5 feet of beautifully developed territory.
This is Lydia Wilson, Ken.
Hi, Lydia.
You're the private detective who's going to help Nick, aren't you?
Well, I wasn't sure, but the odds are now heavily in favor of it.
Ken.
Yeah?
Lydia is Nick's girlfriend.
I was looking at Lydia as Mike said it. Her eyes narrowed. An expression of annoyance crossed her face. Then she was smiling again.
Fiancé is the word, Mike.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Kent. Nick's waiting for you in his office.
Lead on, Mike.
This way.
We went for a hike across thick carpet. The place was furnished expensively, but without very much taste. Mike stopped in front of an oak door.
Come in.
Kent to see you, Mr. Strahler.
Ah, Larry. Larry, come in.
Thanks.
That'll be all, Mike.
Right.
Good to see you again, Larry. No, real good.
I took Nick's plump pink hand. Nick was a little fat boy with a hooked nose, tiny eyes, fuzzy bits of brownish fluff for hair.
Sit down, Larry. Have a seat.
Thanks.
You want something? Help yourself from the cabinet next to you.
Right, Nick, let's get to the point. What's bothering you?
Somebody wants to kill me, Larry.
Oh.
Twice they had to go. My car in the garage downstairs. One day it blew up.
No kidding.
Yeah, it just blew up with nobody even near it. There was a bomb inside.
Oh.
Whoever put the bomb in the car made a mistake in the wiring. Lucky for me, of course.
Yeah.
Then the other day, Mike and I are looking in the jewelry store window. We felt something go past us. We looked at the plate glass window, and there's a perfect little bullet hole. As we looked, another hole appeared in the window. Naturally, we just run as fast as we can.
Naturally. Have you gone to the police, Nick?
Oh, the police?
Mm-hmm.
Me go to the police? Don't be silly. But you, Larry, are different. I've got a proposition for you.
Yeah?
Now, listen. I will give you £300 a week for 3 weeks to guard me right around the clock.
Yeah, but you've got Mike, haven't you?
Mike? Whoa, Mike is loyal, but he's a dunderhead, a schnook. Look what you did to him this morning.
Nick, why do you want protection for only 3 weeks?
Oh, because my gambling yacht is now being repaired. In 3 weeks it will be ready.
For what?
A trip. I'm going to South America to get away from the man who was trying to kill me.
Uh-huh. You must have some idea who this man is, huh?
None whatsoever. Not even the slightest idea. And I don't care who he is. Mm-hmm. All I want to do is get away from here alive.
I tell you what, make it an even $1,000, Nick.
All right. £1,000.
So where do I stay?
Why, here, with Mike and me. I have a nice room for you, Larry. I feel so much better with you here, Larry. Oh, so much better.
A week passed. During that week, I became very interested in Lydia. Though she did her best to hide the fact, she was a very unhappy girl. She had an apartment a block away, no relatives.
Just Nick. Dear, generous Nick.
You don't like him, do you?
Why should I answer that? You're his bodyguard. How do I know how far I can trust you?
And she'd walk away. As for guarding Nick, it was the easiest work I'd ever done. He hardly left the house. When he did, nothing happened, which suited me right down to the ground. If it hadn't been for Lydia, I'd have been perfectly happy, but she worried me. There were times when I'd catch her looking at me. She'd start to say something, bite her lower lip, and turn away. One afternoon, while Mike was out and Nick was in his room having his hair cut and his nails manicured...
Larry, I've got to talk to someone.
Sure, talk.
Not here. My own place.
Oh, now, Nick wouldn't...
Oh, hang Nick.
Yeah, you've really got something eating away at you, haven't you?
Yes. Come to my apartment, Larry, please.
Honey, when Mike gets back, I'll ask Nick to give me a couple of hours off.
I'll be waiting. Larry, come in. Well, Larry, why don't you say something?
Later. Come here.
Larry.
The whole thing had been set up. That was obvious. The music, the filmy thing she wore, the way she looked at me, the heavy perfume she was using. One thing I hadn't been prepared for. The hunger. The real hunger in her kisses.
Larry.
Easy. You'll burst a blood vessel.
I yearned for this and didn't even know it. Oh, Larry, you don't know how tortured I've been.
What made you become Nick's girl?
Usual reasons, I suppose. Security.
Are you going to break away from Nick, or will you make the trip with him?
He hasn't asked me.
And if he does?
I don't know. I'm confused.
You said you wanted to talk to me.
Well, we're talking, Larry.
Yeah, you led me to believe that you had something important to say.
Well, isn't this important? You and I, being together.
You're either a screwball or... I think I'll go back to Nick.
Larry, can't you stay a little longer?
Sorry, honey. There are things about you that I can't figure out. And when it's that way, you're better off leaving a dame. So long. After a couple of minutes of pressing the gold-plated buzzer, I took out my skeleton keys. Well, there was a reason for Mike not answering the door. He was lying on the couch with a knife in his chest. I walked past Mike's body, went to Nick's office. Nick was lying on his stomach. A small automatic lay on the floor near his outstretched hand. A gun had been used on Nick. There were at least 4 slugs in him. Well, I thought, there goes my £1,000. My second thought was, call the cops. So I went to the living room and was reaching for the phone when...
Kent.
Sergeant Morgan.
Well.
Yeah, well.
Hey, Sarge. The bloke on the couch. Look.
They entered the room, went over to Mike's body. Detective Sergeant Morgan and Detective Slim Warner, both of homicide. Morgan had a quick look, turned to me.
What happened, Kent?
You know, I was just about to ask you the same question.
Well, I'll ask the questions if you don't mind.
Well, first answer one for me, Morgan, will you?
Go ahead.
How come you're here?
We received a phone tip. Some shots were fired.
When did you get the tip?
Only a couple of minutes ago.
Uh-huh. Dame?
No, bloke. That's 3 questions I've answered. You're way past your quota.
Yeah. Yeah, believe it or not, Morgan, I was going to phone you boys just as you opened the door.
I'll reserve judgment on that.
Hey, Sarge, this bloke's got a knife in him. That doesn't explain the shots.
Oh, you'll go a long way, son. That's really clever deduction.
Huh? Give out, Kent.
You'll find Nick in his office.
Watch Kent, Slim.
Right, Sarge.
A few minutes later, Morgan was back. He had a pencil in the barrel of a .38 revolver to keep his prints off the gun.
This was under Nick's desk.
But, Sarge, that's...
He was shot dead. Ah. Kent?
Yeah?
What kind of a gun do you use?
Why, a .38.
Like this one?
Yeah. But mine's in my holster.
Get it, Slim.
Right.
Morgan, you're not charging me with murder, are you?
Let's say I'm taking you to headquarters for questioning.
Get up, Kent.
Take it easy, boy. I'm getting...
Yeah, it's a .38, all right, Sergeant.
Put it in your pocket.
Right.
I'll phone for the boys, then we'll go to headquarters. Sit down, Kent.
Thanks.
You can leave us alone, Cassidy.
Right, sir.
Now for a heart-to-heart talk, Kent.
Yeah, I could make a crack.
Go ahead.
Forget it. What's on your mind, Morgan?
2 bodies, 2 murders.
So?
We got word through our fizz gigs a few days ago that you were working for Nick Stroller.
Uh-huh.
That's a bit out of your usual line, isn't it?
Dough is dough.
Nick intended skipping the country in his yacht 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I know.
For weeks, Nick's solicitors have been selling his properties. Nick must have had quite a lot of cash in the flat.
Maybe he did.
But we can't find it. Our experts have gone over every square inch of that flat.
You don't think I've got any of the money, do you, Morgan?
No.
Then why this low-pressure cross-examination?
Because Morgan homicide. Yeah. Uh-huh. Thanks. Kent, this case has got me puzzled. Really puzzled.
Seems to me that phone call added to your puzzlement.
Yeah. That was from the fingerprint department. That gun I found under Nick's desk, it has your prints on it.
You're kidding.
No, Kent.
Well, this is some schoolboy detective trick you're trying to pull on me.
They're your prints. You know I don't pull smart little tricks, Kent. That's not how I operate.
Well, I can't figure... Yes, I can. I haven't been to my apartment for a week. I always keep a spare .38 there.
Yeah, that checks.
Huh?
I sent a man over to your flat. He didn't find a gun there, yet your license for 2. Also, your door showed signs of being jemmied open.
Wait a minute. Let's get this straight. Somebody stole that extra gun?
I'll go along with you on that. And if somebody did steal your extra
There's
gun...
only one reason. To frame me for the killing.
Check. Now, the big question, why?
To divert suspicion from the real murderer.
Or, murderess, Kent?
Oh, I guess you know about Lydia Wilson, huh?
We're not dumb. We've been checking on Nick Stroller for a long time now. We know that his car was blown to bits by a bomb. He didn't report the explosion to us, but you can't hide things like that. Naturally, the checks we made on Nick brought the girls to our attention.
Have you checked on her background?
Well, no, we had no reason to, till now. I sent a couple of men to get her, Kent. She's being held in one of the offices downstairs.
Good. Morgan, correct me if I'm wrong, but the impression I've got is that you want to play ball with me and vice versa.
That's right, Kent.
Then maybe you'll listen to an idea I've got.
Go right ahead.
First of all, I'll need some light recording equipment.
Can do.
Secondly, I'd like you to hold Lydia Wilson here for another couple of hours.
I think I get it, but keep talking.
I did. I told Sergeant Morgan exactly what was on my mind. When I was finished, he grinned.
That's exactly the same idea I had, Kent.
So we got started on it. 15 minutes later, I left police headquarters in a private car. A plainclothes man was driving. I had 2 suitcases with me. He left me off near Lydia's apartment buildings. I used the side entrance, walked up the fire steps to her floor. Her door lock was an easy skeleton key job. Inside, I hid the recording equipment and set it up. Then I looked around. What did I expect to find? A lot of dough, maybe. Nick Stroller's dough. But I didn't. The only article of interest I did find was a photograph. A photograph of a curly-haired, handsome guy. Scrolled across the lower right-hand corner was, "All my love to you, Lydia, Joe, 1954. I sat down and waited. Finally... Hi.
Oh, Larry.
I flicked the little button that started the recording equipment moving.
Locked doors don't seem to mean much to you, Larry.
Well, I wanted to see you.
The police were questioning me.
Yeah, they talked to me, too.
They told me that you found the bodies.
Yeah. You don't seem broken up.
Over Nick?
Yeah, but he was a good meal ticket.
I couldn't stand him touching me anymore.
Is that why you arranged to have him killed?
You're not serious, are you?
You had somebody bust into my apartment and steal my extra gun, figuring my prints would be on it. Then you arranged to have me come here while your friend, or friends, knocked off Mike and Nick. After my gun was used on Nick, it was tossed under his desk, and the killer wore gloves.
You're wrong.
I can even name the guy working with you. Joe.
Joe?
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy, Lydia.
You found the photograph?
Yeah, here it is. But I knew about Joe before I found the photo.
You're lying, Larry. You can't make me say I had anything to do with those murders, because I didn't. When I asked you to come here that day, I was going to tell you how I felt about Nick. How I couldn't stand the sight or feel of him. That I was going to run away. But then I didn't know how far I could trust you.
File away the stories, honey. I'm in a position to really hurt you. But I'll forget about gabbing to the cops if you cut me a nice slice of Nick Stroller's money.
I don't know anything about any money. Can't you get it through your head that I don't have the slightest idea of who killed Nick?
Well, I'll give you 5 minutes to make up your mind, honey. If you don't want to play ball with me, I'll go straight to the cops, tell them about Joe, and give them my opinion of what happened.
I don't care what you do. And as for Joe, you don't know what you're talking about.
She sat down, lit a cigarette, said nothing. Neither did I. But I was thinking, wondering what bluff I could try next. The 5 minutes were almost up when... Well. Now who can that be?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Whoever it is, let him in. And listen, honey. I'll be holding this gun and I'll be standing behind those drapes. Now don't try anything cute, huh?
Get in.
The guy pushed Lydia into the room. There was a gun in his hand.
I fixed everything nicely, didn't I, sweet dear Lydia?
Joe, it was you?
Yes, me. Oh, I was clever, my sweet. I watched you and Nick Stroller, and then that Larry Kent. Yes, watched and planned. I broke into Kent's apartment, found an extra gun. Then I waited my chance. The big fellow I knifed so that Nick wouldn't be disturbed by shots. And then back to Nick's office I went. But the gun didn't seem to frighten him as much as my face. My face. Look into my face, Lydia.
No. Help me, Larry.
What? Drop the gun, Joe.
Oh, no, I'll kill you too, Kent.
The slug got him on the shoulder, spun him around. Call the cops, Lydia.
Yes.
Oh, wait. I want you to understand what happened, Kent.
I think I do.
Lydia and I were engaged. And then a year ago, I was in a car accident. Glass in my face, flames. Did this to me. Left me without a face. She couldn't even look at me when they took the bandages off.
Joe.
She ran away, screaming. And I had to lay there for weeks. All I could think of was revenge.
So you tried to frame me for the murder?
Yeah, I thought she was falling for you. But it didn't work, so... Hey!
Joe!
This is the best way.
5 stories down.
Yeah. Joe, poor twisted Joe, had a room in Paddington. There the cops found the money he'd taken from Nick Stroller. The first 2 attempts on Nick's life, well, we're assuming that Joe was responsible for them. And that's about it. Sorry, but somehow I've got nothing bright to say. So, good night.
Police File.
crime stories which made banner headlines in your newspapers. Stories as in the files of your police department and gathered from the files of one of the largest newspaper organizations in the Southern Hemisphere. Tonight we glance at the file on Lloyd Edward Bray, better known as Lloydie Bray. As usual, all names used are fictitious, but the facts are true in this story of the CIB at its fastest and most efficient. Death pays no dividend. A tough is a tough is a tough. We repeat ourselves because we're describing three of Sydney's hoodlums, all equally as bad as the other. Tom Doran, John Hutchins, and Jeff Roberts. And when Doran, Hutchins, and Roberts got together and their small talk on women and horses was exhausted, there was always the old eternal subject to fall back on.
What I want some dough. Quick, easy dough.
Yeah? Well, if you'd use your nut at Canterbury Saturday, Roberts.
Ah, quit crying at each other, you two. Listen, Doran, what about another job? Time we had a crack at something, ain't it?
Maybe.
Well, you got anything in mind?
Maybe.
Ah, give Mastermind a chance, Hutchins. He's got so many plans, he don't know where to start.
Shut up. Pass the bottle.
Well, what do you got for us, Doran?
A good job. An easy one.
What?
City store.
Which one?
Joseph Dark's.
What?
What's wrong with you, Roberts?
You call that easy? Slap bang in the middle of town? Huh. I could whistle from there to the Regent Street station.
You won't have to. Like it, Hutchins?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Well, I agree with Roberts. No city stores that size could be easy, Doran.
The bigger they are, like the harder they fall. When we get inside, it's going to be worth it.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you that in.
I got it planned. I've had it in my mind for weeks. I know where everything is. Showcases, office, jewelry, a lot. Oh, what about it?
Well, tell us more. But I don't like the
Shut
sound.
up. What do you say, Hutchins?
When would you plan to break in, Doran?
Weekend. Saturday night. Like that gives us all day Sunday to pile up the stuff as we want it and then go through when we're sweet.
Yeah.
You know how it is up there. Plenty of good, wide roadway all around. We could spot anybody coming a mile off while we're getting inside. After that, like there's nothing to it.
Yeah? And how do we get inside first? The alarms going off?
Easy.
Yeah, but you don't know anything about alarms, Doran.
No, but, Lloydie Bray does.
Lloydie Bray? Yeah, but he's inside.
Shut up. Lloydie Bray comes out in a week or so. Like, he gets us inside the store. He opens a safe for us. How's that?
Well, fair enough. If Lloydie Bray will be in it.
Why shouldn't he? Ain't heard anything about him going straight, have you?
He'll need some dough, too, just coming out of stir.
Now, that's the first sensible thing you said, Roberts. What do you say, Hutchins?
All right. I'll be in it if Lloydie Bray will be.
He will be. I'll get in touch with him when he comes out. Meanwhile, lay off the buying. Anything you want, it's going to be on Joseph Dark's.
Lloydie Bray came out of jail. It was the band's day off, so they piped him back to the underworld with a keg or two and a committee of three. Doran, Hutchins, and Roberts.
Hey, Lloydie.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's, get out of this mob in the next room.
Yeah? What do you want?
You, come on.
Okay. Now, what's it? Well, if it ain't old Hutchins, how are you, mate?
Broke. How'd they treat you, Lloydie?
What do you think, huh? Hiya, Roberts. You picked any winners lately?
Oh, lie off, will you?
Hey, you look all right, Lloydie. Yeah. Well, what do you blokes want? I got me a Sheila out at the party and
This is business.
Yeah? Well, so's this.
Come on. Let's get down to it.
Well, what's it all about?
Doran's got a plan, Lloydie. It's a good one.
Yeah?
Yeah. And if you want dough like we want dough, you'll be in it. We're gonna crack Joseph Darks.
Hey, you're flying high, ain't you?
That's right.
How you gonna get inside there?
Well, that's where you come in. Reckon you've lost your touch with the alarms, Lloydie?
No.
What about the safe?
Just lead me to it.
Then what are we arguing about?
Ah, good on you, Lordy. I knew you'd be in it.
Shut up. Okay, Lloydie. You can go back to the party now. We'll, meet tomorrow and make final plans.
Okay. Hey, listen, where are we gonna get the stuff away?
I thought of that. Hutchins and I'll pinch a car before we start the job.
Yeah. Well, that's all right, then. So long as you don't want to use mine, see? I kept up the registration, but I don't want to use for no jobs.
It won't be. Okay, let's get on with the party.
And, what night's the job?
This coming Saturday. Better give those fingers of yours a bit of practice, Lloydie. We're gonna need 'em.
Doran and Hutchins stole the car on the Wednesday night. They intended to reduco it and change the number plates. But shortly after they'd stolen it, as they were driving through King's Cross...
I'll cut down this street, Doran, and see if it...
Hutchins, step on it.
What?
Step on it, that patrol car. They slowed down and had a good look at us.
Heck, those coppers are everywhere. Hey, they've spotted us, haven't they?
Yeah. Get down this side street quick. We'll ditch it.
If I was superstitious, I'd call this an omen. A bad omen.
Yeah, never mind that. Come on, out of it before they grab us.
Hey, we pinch another one?
Now I got a better idea. We'll use a truck. Anyhow, we can load more stuff into a truck. Come on, out of it.
So they stole a truck, and Doran made Roberts the driver. He kept out of the way on Saturday night while, with Doran and Hutchins keeping watch, Lloydie Bray got to work on the burglar alarms at Joseph Darks.
Doran. Hey, Doran.
Yeah?
It's okay. It's safe now.
Right. I'll signal Hutchins.
Is he coming?
Yeah. In you go, Lloydie. I'll follow and Hutchins can get in last.
Hey, it's all clear, Doran.
Okay. After me, Hutchins. And watch where you tread. Here, take some of this gear off me.
Right, I've got it.
You inside?
We're right.
Yeah. What do we do now?
Nothing. We sleep, if you want to. And when daylight comes, we set to work. And do the joint over.
Hey, how do you like this? Chicken.
Yeah, not bad, eh? Hey, ain't there any more bread around?
Yeah, here's a loaf. Tastes twice as good when you ain't paying for it, don't it?
Yeah. Like any more chicken in that fridge?
You bet. You know, I could eat me way right through this delicatessen. Hey, better leave some for Lloydie, I suppose.
Yeah, here he comes now. Any luck, Lloydie?
Luck? Well, I got into the vault, if that's what you mean. There's a safe inside that again.
Well, that dirty, rotten...
Well, you'll have to open the safe.
Of course I'll open it. But listen, what about some food, you blokes?
Yeah, I'll fix you something, eh? You better get cracking on that safe, Lloydie.
We got all day, ain't we?
Yeah, but it'll take time to get that safe open. Next thing we know, Roberts will be here with a truck.
All right. You blokes get anything around the store?
Yeah, some good stuff. Like, just get that safe open, Lloydie, and we'll have we'd have picked the eyes out of the lot. After that, we wait for Roberts.
Hey, here he is. He's here, Doran.
I can hear. Roberts.
Okay, Doran. All clear.
Stay at the wheel, Roberts. We'll load her. First sign of trouble, give us a yell. We'll jump on and you'll go for your life.
Okay. You got some good stuff?
Crack the safe and all. Now keep your eyes open and shut up.
The men worked fast. They loaded the truck. Nobody saw them. Nobody disturbed them. All the merchandise they could load and the contents of the safe, too. Goods amounting to £5,000 worth were quickly and competently stacked. And then...
All aboard, boys. Roberts, start her up.
Okay.
We did the trick, Doran. Now let the D's try to find out who did the lot.
Lloydie Bray had issued his challenge. He'd have been surprised to learn how quickly the men of the CIB were to take that challenge up. The robbery discovered, Detective Sergeant Irish and Detective Sergeant Thomas were two of the men from the CIB who went down to inspect the store.
Take a look at this, Irish.
See? Here's why this alarm didn't ring.
Yeah. A neat job.
Taking a guess at who did it?
It rings a bell. Let's look inside first.
Good idea. Well, we can go through here. Where's that store manager? He can lead us down to where the safe is.
Well, there he is. Come on. I got a hunch on this. Yeah. Just as I thought, Thomas.
Some pretty hard work's been put into this. Look at that, right through the vault and then into the safe.
And I think I know whose work it is.
You do? Who?
Lloydie Bray.
I think you might be right at that. Yes, that is right.
There's all the hallmarks, isn't it?
I think so.
Look, let's go back and check on a few details on Mr. Bray.
All right. I'll leave Matson and Fielding here with the manager. They can get a complete list of the stuff stolen.
It's going to take some time, too. Yeah, where was Bray living last? Wait a while. He's just out.
That's right. Of course he's just out.
Well. The judge puts him away for 5 years, and as soon as he's out, he's back at it.
They never learn, do they?
Never. Well, let's go and find Mr. Lloydie Bray and give him the surprise of his miserable little life.
From the moment that the detectives of the CIB had their suspicions that the breaking and entering was the work of Lloydie Bray, the hunt was on. The thieves were gleeful. They thought it was all over.
Oh, it was nice work, Lloydie. Like this is going to give the D something to think about.
I'll say. Ah, yeah, and Joseph Darks, too. No dividends for them this year, Dawn.
We copped the lot. Now, listen, we can't keep this truck forever, Lloydie. We've got to get rid of it, see?
Yeah? Now, what's on your mind?
Your car.
Now, listen, Dawn.
It's in the clear, ain't it? You left it parked outside the picture show at Des Moines, didn't you?
Yeah, but that was only to give myself an alibi. I told you,
Look, we have to use it, Lloydie. Now, trying to get rid of all the stuff we pinched from off a stolen truck would be just plain stupid.
Yeah. Well, what do you want to do?
Transfer the stuff into your car, of course.
When?
Daylight. Today.
Oh, heck, you're taking a risk, ain't you?
Where's the risk? Like you think the D's are a wake-up yet to what's going on? The sooner we ditch the truck, the better.
Okay. You're the planner.
Now, look, we just drive up to your car where it's parked, offload the truck, Roberts can drive it off and ditch it somewhere, and we've got the stuff just where we want it.
Well, let's get cracking, then. Call Hutchins and Roberts and we'll get on to it.
Yeah. Listen, have you got a gun?
No. Have you?
Yeah. Yeah, we won't need it, but just in case, I'm taking it with me.
Simultaneously, the CIB was carrying out plans of its own. Sergeants Iris and Thomas kept a watch on Lloydie Bray's home, but soon realized it was deserted. They knew he had a car, and the car wasn't there either. So a call was put out to all patrol cars in the metropolitan area.
VKG to all cars. VKG to all cars. Message 67, urgent. Message begins. Reference, Joseph Dark robbery. Keep strict lookout for car registered in name of Lloyd Edward Bray. Description follows.
That should bring us results, Thomas.
Yes, I reckon, Irish. You know, seems to me that it's going to be used to cart the stuff away.
Yeah. They're so stupid. And they think they can get away with it. Irish speaking. Yeah? Yeah, where? Yeah, all right. Now listen. We'll be out there in 15 minutes. If anybody approaches the car, give chase and keep in touch by radio. Otherwise, do nothing. Right? Okay.
What is it? Have they found it?
Yeah. Parked outside the Regal Cinema at Des Moines. Now, come on, Thomas. We'll get the boys out there and see what happens.
What's going on, Irish?
Nothing. I had a good look at it, and it's deserted. Well, we just keep watch until something happens.
You cleared the boys back from it?
Ah, yeah. Now we sit and wait events. If only Lloydie Bray knew just how hot his car is.
Nobody approached the car that day, the thieves having deferred their plans for 24 hours. Detectives were stationed at strategic points around it, and 6 hidden pairs of eyes did nothing but watch the silent, lonely car. During the night, the sergeant made a quiet patrol of the area.
Fielding. Fielding.
Yes, Sergeant.
Nothing doing?
All quiet, Sergeant.
All right. And keep your eyes peeled. If they start anything at all, it might be the dead of night.
Yes, Sergeant.
Well, what do you think, Irish?
We can wait. They can leave it there for a week. We'll still be waiting. We've laid our trap. When they walk into it, it's their business. We've wasted a day, Lloydie. We have to act now.
I still don't like
Now, look. You've just got to let us have that car like it's just sitting there waiting for us.
Well, pinch one. I don't like it, Doran.
Then we'll do the job without you. I gave in yesterday when we were all set to go, but...
Hey, you all set?
Lloydie here still doesn't like it.
Well, that's too bad, because we can't hang around with this truck any longer. Come on, Lloydie. Roberts is at the wheel now.
Why don't we wait till night?
Why don't you use your head? Now, what could look more innocent than us loading the stuff in the middle of the day?
You know, he's made the point, Lloydie.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be in it. But it won't surprise me to find that car crawling with D's.
You're not getting cold feet, Lloydie.
Come on, let's get into the truck and get on with it.
All clear your side, Roberts?
Yeah, she's right. Not a soul anywhere. Where to now, Lloydie?
Turn right at the top here. The car's on the left-hand side. You can't miss it.
Hutchins is signaling from the back. What is it?
All clear, Doran.
Okay, we're going in now.
Car 7 to car 5. Car 7 to car 5. Truck approaching Bray's car.
That you, Fielding?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right. Keep on reporting. This looks like it, Thomas.
Yes, in broad daylight. A shrewd move. If we weren't just around the corner.
Truck stop, Sergeant. This is it, all right.
Stay put, Fielding. We want the stuff. There is stuff in the truck?
Loaded, Sergeant.
Right. We want the stuff in the car, if that's what they're going to do. Then we catch them red-handed. Meanwhile, a full description of the truck. And no more signals until they've finished the job.
Yes, Sergeant.
You little beaut.
Right down our alley. Or it will be when they start moving.
Okay, let's get working. No panic, but move fast. Lloydie?
Yeah?
Get behind the wheel. Be ready to move off as soon as I give the signal.
Okay.
All clear, Hutchins?
Not a D within miles. Come on, Roberts. Let's get stuck into it.
They're taking a long time over that loading, Thomas.
Yes. Of course, they've got a lot of stuff to load. I wonder if these boys are armed.
We'll soon find out. We can find
Hello.
out.
Here's Fielding. He's on the air now.
Car 7 to car 5. Loading's finished, Sergeant. Truck's moving off.
Well, let it go. We'll get it later.
The car's moving off now. Bray's at the wheel.
Right. We're moving in, Fielding. Long stop as we come. In we go. Not too fast, Lloydie.
I'm getting out of here just as fast as
Step on it, Lloydie.
What the...
He's right. They're onto us.
Step on it.
Don't be a goat. Better stop, Lloydie. Stop.
I can't stop.
Hey, out of this. Look out, they're crowding us!
Stop! Stop! You're under arrest! Stop the car!
I'll fix these.
Watch it, Thomas! They're trying to get you.
I'll get you, all right.
Tell me, you fool, Lloydie. Stop the car!
You brought me into this, but I'll get us out of it.
Hey, they've dropped behind. Come on, Lloydie. Show them out.
All right, if we're going to be stupid.
Don't shoot, Doran.
I'll fix them. Missed. But I'll get them all.
Hey, look out. We're taking the corner.
They took a pot shot, Irish.
Yeah. Two can play at their game. Come on, close them again.
Here they come again.
Yeah, let them come.
Faster, you stupid dope, go on.
60, ain't I?
I'll stop them. Watch the road, Lordy. I'll stop them.
He's lifted the gun again, Irish.
I can see. Close them, will you? Close them. Got the bonnet. Stop. Stop that car. Okay, then I'll stop you.
He got me. Doran! Doran!
Drop back, Thomas. Drop back.
We're right.
I hit him. I got Bragg. Look at him. That stopped him. Come on, Thomas. Stop, you man. Stop. Give him a blast, Thomas. All right. We give up.
You killed him. You killed Lloydie Bray.
Lucky it wasn't you. Come on, get up, both of you.
I'll see how Bray is. Watch him, Irish.
You're not here to watch us. Like you murdered him, you shot Bray. This time we were the lucky ones. Why didn't you stop? We couldn't stop. No, but you could get a pistol out, couldn't you? You could fire at us.
We weren't going to give trouble.
No, not now you won't. How is he?
He's not so good. I'll call an ambulance.
Right. Come on, you two. The party's over.
If he dies, Sergeant, you've murdered him.
If he dies, I've done my duty. If you'd had your way, it would have been just as easily have been one of us. Next time, you boys might realize that you just can't get away with it.
Lloydie Bray died in hospital within the hour. His car was taken to the CIB and checked for fingerprints. Amongst those found were those of Roberts, the driver of the truck. The search for him and the truck went on.
Sergeant Irish. Yeah? Yeah, where? All right. We'll throw a cordon round the place and grab him. What's that? No. He won't give any trouble. Not after this morning's little effort.
What's that? News of Roberts?
Yeah, he's in a house at Clavelli, truck and all. Come on, let's take him in. And that'll put paid to that account.
Yes. And the only person who draws a dividend is Lloydie.
The others will get theirs. A few years in which to think it over.
Roberts was arrested without any trouble. The CIB chase was complete. At the trial, Doran, Hutchins, and Roberts tried to protest they were the victims of police toughness. But the judge thought otherwise. Hutchins was given 5 years, Doran 2.5 years, and was described as an habitual criminal, and Roberts was given 3.5 years. And at the inquest on the death of Lloyd Edward Bray, the coroner said, "I compliment the police force on their work in this case. I commend them all. As for Detective Sergeant Irish, who shot Bray, he did his duty." It pays to remember, a tough is a tough. But when he meets the men of your CIB, he meets his superior, and you and I are protected.
Attention! A 30-minute appointment with suspense. Tonight's story,
On the Country Road,
starring Guy Dolman.
David, there's no hurry to get home.
Who can relax in this mess of traffic? Must be a wreck or something up ahead.
If this keeps up, we'll get caught in the rain.
Looks like a big storm building up, too. Hey, remember that shortcut?
Which one?
Little tarred road that goes across through Centerville and comes out on the other highway.
Oh, yes, the one we took last summer.
Yes, that's right. I'll turn off there and get out of this jam. I'd like to get as far as possible before that storm hits us.
Why don't you put out your hand?
Don't get mad.
He cut right in front of me to turn to that garage.
Well, perhaps he needed petrol. Do we have plenty?
What? No, I'll have to stop and get some. Turn on the radio, shall we?
All right.
Police this afternoon issued 2 warnings to all residents to be
sounds
on the
like good
lookout
news.
for Nellie Gullar, a middle-aged woman described as dangerous and insane. She escaped this morning from Restview Mental Hospital after fatally butchering a doctor, a nurse, and a ward attendant with a meat cleaver.
Shall we?
This is the same Nellie Gullar who a year ago murdered 3 persons on a city street, also using a meat cleaver as a weapon at that time.
Ah, my
This
mother-in-law.
station will broadcast a full description on our regular news, which
I'm
follows
kidding.
in just a
At
few
least we aren't the only crazy people
Meantime,
around.
anyone who may know of the whereabouts of this woman is asked to communicate with the police.
How'd you change it?
I didn't want to listen anymore. Let's get home quickly. I don't like being out here with that woman running loose.
There's the storm. Wind up the windows. Now what?
What's wrong?
I don't know. Police all over the road.
Oh, I suppose they're looking for that crazy woman.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Hold it a minute.
What's up, officer?
Just a check. Anything in the back seat?
Just the blanket and the lunchbox.
We went for a picnic.
Yes, ma'am. Seen any hitchhikers?
No, just traffic.
Okay. Move right along, please.
Are you looking for the crazy woman?
Move along. Come on, let's go.
He didn't answer.
He's busy.
What are you doing?
All residents and motorists are warned to be on the alert for the escaped insane woman. She is described as tall, broad-shouldered, grey-haired, and rather heavy. She may still be armed with a meat cleaver. 100 men are searching, and they're prepared to shoot on sight. Now, here's another bulletin on the case which just came in. Just a few minutes ago, the decapitated bodies of an elderly man and woman were found by police near Centerville.
There's that shortcut.
I repeat,
They haven't
the
found
bodies
him.
of an elderly
Well, this
couple
will get us
just
out of that
found in their
traffic.
car near Centerville on a lonely tarred road. Police are certain they were killed by Nellie Gullar, the insane woman now at large. Residents of the area are warned not to open their doors to strangers. Motorists are cautioned to stay off lonely roads and not pick up any hitchhikers. All persons are asked to be on the lookout for this woman.
They haven't
Here is
caught her
description
yet.
again.
No.
She is tall,
Turn that off,
grey-haired,
Dorothy.
has broad shoulders and long arms. She is believed to be armed with the meat cleaver, which she used in her escape.
Go on,
from
turn it
Rescue
off.
You wanted to hear it.
Well, that's enough of it. Well, this shortcut will save us a lot of time.
Driven off the highway.
Yeah, sure, I told you when I did it. We've come over a mile already. Saves a lot of time.
Didn't you hear what the radio said about staying off lonely roads?
We just have to go across to the other highway. It won't take long.
Sure?
Well, of course. We go past Centerville, then take the left road and come out right by the highway bridge.
Centerville is where she just killed those two people.
Oh, you're acting like a child. What can happen to us while we're driving? Besides, the whole area is full of men looking for this lunatic. They'll catch her. It's just a storm. Jumpy.
Oh, yes, I suppose I'm silly. David.
What?
The petrol gauge says empty.
There's still a couple of gallons left when it points to empty.
How long has it been at empty?
Oh, I don't know. I'll get some when we get across to the other highway.
Scared.
Relax, darling. Rain and wind always make you as nervous as a cat. It's all right.
I wish we'd stayed on the highway.
There's something ahead.
Well, don't stop.
It's only a sign.
That crazy woman could be round
Look,
here.
I'm not picking up anyone. I just want to know where I am.
Don't get out of the car.
I'm not. Calm down, will you? Centerville that way. I'll take this road.
Centerville. This must be the road where she killed those people.
Dorothy, please.
Oh. I'm sorry, Aunt Jumpy. I'm sure this is the road where she killed those people.
Look, will you stop
That's
it,
why
Dorothy?
the police had a roadblock. The crazy woman might be anywhere in these woods.
Yes, but not necessarily where we are. Oh.
What's the matter?
Ah, fine. What a place to run out of juice.
No. You mean we're stuck here?
Well, for the time being, anyway.
The crazy woman is in the woods. She'll kill us.
Look, she's nowhere near us. Will you calm down?
Quick, turn off the headlights.
What? Did you see something?
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, darling, I'm scared.
I should have got petrol.
Don't put on the headlights, please.
Why?
She'll see us if you do.
Oh, for Pete's sake. I'm putting them on.
Please, darling, please turn them off.
Listen, Dorothy, I don't want this silly thing to get the better of you.
Look at the headlights poking into the darkness at nothing but wet bushes and trees and rain falling. Please, darling.
Oh, all right. There, they're off. You feel better sitting in the dark?
Oh, if only the thunder and lightning would stop. And the rain.
Look, Dorothy, there's no sense sitting here all night. Now, it's only a few minutes past 10 o'clock. I'm going to walk up the road a bit, and there might be a house or something there.
You're not going to leave me here. I won't let you.
Well, Dorothy, we can't sit here in the middle of nowhere for the rest of the night.
We're safer here than out there. Darling, she's probably hiding in the woods, just waiting for a chance to kill us.
Oh, come on, Dorothy. Why should she be right where we've run out of juice?
Why can't she be here? Please stay in the car.
Oh. All right.
Quick, lock the doors inside.
Why, what? What is it?
What is it? Now she can't get in.
Look, she's nowhere near us.
Oh, don't be mad at me, darling. I'm so scared.
If she's out there, she can easily smash the windows.
What? Oh, darling, don't scare me anymore. Look, I know I'm being silly, but I can't help it.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. Come here. Let me put you. There we are.
Darling.
Now put your head on my shoulder.
Forgive me.
Go ahead and try to make you feel better. There.
So quiet and lonely here. I wish it were morning.
Look, Dorothy, I'll run up the road. There might be a house handy, and we...
Please. David, listen. Do you hear that?
What? I don't hear anything.
Listen. There it is.
I don't hear it. Oh. It's a dog. A little dog barking.
Oh, David.
Oh, I guess it's only a lost dog, or perhaps there's a house nearby.
Oh, the crazy woman.
What?
She's out there.
Somebody at the back of the car.
It's her. She'll kill us.
Is the door locked on your side?
Yes. What if she breaks the window? She has a cleaver.
That flash of lightning. I saw somebody.
Is it the crazy woman?
I can't tell. She's lying on the road.
Can you see her? Is she still there?
It's too dark to see. To wait for the lightning. Yes, I saw her. She's getting up now.
She'll kill us.
Look, calm down now, please.
What's she doing?
I don't know. She must have been running. She didn't see the car and ran right into it.
David! She's at the window.
Right next to her. Oh, get away from that window.
She's trying to get into the car.
Oh, look at that face in her hair. Go away!
Don't let her in.
Maybe we can scare her. Look, you go away. We've got a gun. We'll shoot.
It worked. She's staring at us.
I'm on you. I'll shoot.
She's coming back.
Please, don't leave me out here, please. That woman will kill me. Please.
Take your pipe and hold it like a gun. It'll look like a gun.
Where is it? Oh, give it to me, quick. Now, look. I've got a gun. I'm going to shoot.
Backing away.
Keep going before I start shooting.
She's gone. She's disappeared.
Well, we can't get out now. We can just sit here all night and wait for help.
Can you see her? Where'd she go?
I don't know. She's out there. We'll be planning how to get into this car.
What are we going to do? She's the one I know. But she didn't have a cleaver.
Well, she must have dropped it when she ran into the car.
Her face was all twisted and her hair hanging down.
She must be back there looking for the cleaver now.
She'll kill us. She'll kill us.
Dorothy, now stop it. Stop it, Dorothy.
She'll kill us. David! The window. She's broken the window.
Get away from there. Stay out of this car now.
I'm coming in. I can't stand it out here.
Stay out of the car. I warn you, I've got a gun.
You wouldn't shoot me.
Go away. You're crazy. We know all about you.
I'm not the crazy woman. Believe me. Let me in.
Don't do it, David. She's trying to trick
Oh,
us.
listen to me, please. I've been running in this awful storm. My car's stuck in the ditch back there.
How far back?
I don't know. It seems like miles. I heard about the crazy woman on the radio. I was afraid to stay in the car alone. Oh, please let me in.
No, David, no.
Go back to your own car.
No, it's so dark and so lonely. This awful storm. I locked the doors, but I was afraid I could see things and hear things in the dark, and I couldn't stand it anymore. I just got out and ran. It's the rain. That's why I look like this. I'm not the crazy woman. Let me in, please. Let me in.
Perhaps she isn't the crazy woman. Perhaps she's just scared and exhausted.
No, she's the one I know.
Oh, look, the crazy woman has a cleaver. I'm not armed. The three of us will be safer together.
That makes sense to me, Dorothy. We would be safer with one more person.
Look, let me in. Please, I'm wet wet to the skin.
I'm going to unlock the door, Dorothy. All right, get in. But make one move and I'll shoot you.
Dear. Oh. Oh, it's so good to sit down.
There was a blanket on the floor back there, which you try and dry yourself with it.
Oh, the darkness and the rain. It was enough to drive me out of my mind.
Well, try and
I
rest.
just ran and ran. All I could hear was feet chasing after me, hunting me.
Well, just take it easy. You're all right now. Do you live near here?
Farther out, near Restview. I used to live in the city.
Restview is the mental hospital.
Yes, I know. I'm used to the crazy people, but not at night in a lonely place like this. Not the kind who kill people.
You live at Restview?
Oh, no. No, just near there.
David, we can't sit here not knowing. If we could get to a phone.
A phone? Why?
To call the police to get some help.
No, don't do that.
Well, why not? Why don't you want the police called?
I do, but you'd be killed.
What?
That woman, she'll kill him if he goes away from this car.
There's that dog again. Do you hear it?
Somebody's out there.
Well, might be a house nearby. Perhaps it's barking to be let in.
It senses somebody. There's somebody out there. That's why it's barking.
The crazy woman's creeping around out there.
Quick, let's get away before we're caught.
Look out, David.
Well, let me go. What are you trying to do?
Stop the car, quick, we'll get away.
We're out of petrol.
Out of petrol?
Well, you don't think we parked here for the fun of it, do you?
Stop barking.
What does it mean?
We're so helpless. She could kill us easily.
Just can't sit there. We've got to get away.
Look, I'm not a magician, madam. I can't make petrol out of
Look,
rain.
We can't stay here the whole night. Do you hear me?
Look, let me go. There's nothing I can do.
Well, try something, anything. Just don't sit there.
She's scared of you, David. Stop her.
Oh, cut it out, will you? You'll have us all in hysterics.
All right. I'm sorry.
I think so.
Look, I've got an idea. Give me your gun.
Why?
Why? I'll tell you why. I can't sit here all night. I'll go mad. But give me the gun and then I'll go. I won't be afraid of the dark and the feet following me. I'll go, I promise you, but give me the gun.
No, sit down.
Oh, please. I'll go, I promise. I can't stand sitting in the dark like this.
Make us stop.
Yes, I told you to shut up, and now if you don't, I'll make you get out of the car.
You wouldn't. Not unarmed. Not into the woods again. You're nice people, aren't you? Or do you want me to leave you so you can shoot me? Is that it?
Stop it. We're not going to shoot you. We haven't got a gun. It's only a pipe.
Dorothy, you...
Pipe? A smoking pipe?
I'm sorry.
Then you're unarmed.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
Why did you tell me you had a gun?
Why does it make any difference to you whether I'm armed or not?
I don't know you. Perhaps you two are more dangerous than the crazy woman.
I'll tell you what I think. I think you're the crazy woman. The way you grabbed David when you wanted him to start the car.
Stop it, don't excite her.
Don't excite me. Why? Perhaps you think I'm dangerous. An old woman you took into your car. Two of you, and you're afraid of me.
No, we're not afraid of you. Now, you sit back in that seat and don't try anything. I'm watching you all the time.
Stop it. David, now's the time.
Time for what? What are you going to do? You two are up to something.
Oh, shut up! My wife meant now's the time to go for help.
No, I didn't. I meant now's the time for us to escape. Can't you see? She's the one. She'll kill us.
You little...
Stop it! Now sit back in that seat.
You haven't got a gun.
No, I haven't, but I've got a knife.
David.
I've got a knife, and it's sharp. Now, don't try any tricks.
All right. Threaten me. Watch me. While that woman's out there. All you can do is to sit and wait for her to make the next move.
She can kill us like that old man and woman. It must have been on this same road. They were in their car, too. They must have let her in.
We'll leave them, the three of us. Look, we'll walk. We'll stay close together. We'll be quiet. And anyone hiding in the woods won't hear us.
Don't get out of the car, David. We'll be killed.
How would we find our way? It's too dark.
Oh, we
Look out there. The road's full of shadows.
Get her out of the car, David. She wants to kill us.
Kill you?
Hey, look, if you want to go, why don't you leave? You don't need us. We're willing to stay here until help comes.
I'd be helpless alone. If I had a gun or something. You'd mind.
Why doesn't somebody come? Where are the police?
Nobody will come. There's no one in these woods. They're deserted.
Oh, now, Dorothy, darling, please don't.
It was your idea to use this road. You wouldn't listen to me and stop for petrol.
Well, I couldn't help it. I got lost.
Oh, do something before we're murdered. Are you so helpless?
All right. I am going to do something. I'll go for help.
That's it. You get help.
Look.
What?
In her hand. I saw it in the moonlight. It glittered.
What is it?
Your wife's hysterical.
She's holding it. A piece of broken glass, long and pointed. See, she doesn't answer. She's just watching us. What's she waiting for?
It's from the broken window. That's where she got it.
So what if I have? I'm not going to sit here defenseless.
She's going to attack us.
Oh, don't be silly. It was all right for you to have a knife. Why can't I be armed?
Give me that.
Give it to you. Do you think I'm crazy? You couldn't protect us from anything.
We'll see about that.
David, what are you doing?
Why are you climbing over the seat?
No, I warn you. I'm through letting my wife be terrified. Now, give me that glass.
Get away from me.
Once I'd left the car, you were going to butcher my wife with that broken glass, weren't you?
No! David!
Give me the glass.
Lazy. Let me alone.
Hold her. Don't let her go.
She's trying to cut my arm.
You'll kill me.
Threw up that glass.
She dropped it. She dropped it.
Have you both gone crazy? Trying to kill me?
Like you were going to murder us.
I wasn't.
Hold her, David. Hold on to her.
Can't much longer.
I'm not crazy. Please believe me. Just give me the knife. It's all.
Got my
The knife, David. Use the knife.
Oh!
You killed her. You've killed the crazy woman.
Oh, I couldn't help it. She was choking me. Oh. Let me get back there.
You're covered with blood.
She was going to kill us. There's lights. There's a car coming.
Hey there, you in the car. Why are you parked there?
It's police.
We ran out of juice.
What a night to run out of juice. Couldn't have picked a better spot. What with that woman running around loose?
Officer, we wanted to tell you.
Farmer up the road, Cora, said his dog's been barking or something.
No, well, we caught her.
Who?
The crazy woman. She's in the back seat. She's dead.
What? No, she's alive. Badly hurt, though.
She was trying to kill us.
We'll get her to a hospital. You come with me.
She was trying to kill us.
Lucky you didn't kill her. We captured that crazy woman half an hour ago. I don't know who this lady is. Come on, give me a hand with her.